Yeah, happy Monday to those who celebrate. Happy Monday to you all. Indeed, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you, San Diego Sports 760. What a night it was for San Diego State, the 5 seed, knocking out Yale. And I do mean knocking out Yale from the opening tip-off. This was domination. The shots were falling. The big man ate. Ledee is the leading scorer again. Oh my goodness. It is March Madness, and you can feel it. It's just like circulating through the bloodstream here in San Diego.
He wasn't even out there on the court for the last 8 minutes of the game.
8 minutes and 40 seconds of the game. And he still had 32 and 26 for Jaden Ledee. I haven't looked around, and I'm mad at myself for not doing it. He might be the leading scorer in the entire NCAA tournament.
It's possible.
Maybe Zach Edey. He had 2 really good games.
Zach Edey
Stupid,
with Purdue.
Tall mother.
Dude.
Whoa,
I mean,
Morning, guys.
Good morning, buddy. So I do so much. I want to get to personal stories first, and then obviously we're going to dive into San Diego State. And then there's something happening in Major League Baseball that may shift the next 10 years or so. We'll get to that story as well. But first, Fletch, I want you to know that I began, I guess blaming you is the right word, of insurance fraud. I feel like this ankle injury is a complete falsehood. Your only alibi is a dog you were walking who's a known liar.
The only thing he's getting from the insurance fraud, though, is medical help with his broken ankle.
I don't know what this game you're playing is, but I need you to take this damn softcast off and get back to work, you bum. I don't know what angle you're working here, but it's baloney.
I'm here.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I mean, are you all the way here?
Yeah, actually, I'm off the painkillers.
Dude,
I'm here.
I see you scooting out of here at 9:30. You're like, gotta feed my dog and rest a leg.
No, I'm working from home the rest of the day, man.
Details.
Our very own Rich Hornberger, Big Rich, former NFL player. He does a news update every single day here, 5:50 over at our sister station, News Radio 600 GoGo. And on this morning's update, he accused Fletch of insurance fraud.
I did.
That's messed up, bro.
I did.
I'm sitting over here in pain with a bloody stump of a foot.
I am.
What's the line in Ricky Bobby? I hope your kids. No,
I'm trying.
Don't you wish that evil on me?
I'm trying to put together the pieces here. Slipped on an acorn with your dog as your alibi. Something smells fishy in Denmark.
My wife was there too. Happy anniversary, babe.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, anniversary.
That's
second
fun.
wedding anniversary.
Wow. Also, Alex's birthday.
That too.
Wow.
And we know what his present was.
Yeah, we do know what his present was.
Congratulations to Alex.
Exactly.
Well played, sir. And
So
by
there
the
might
way,
be.
hang on. Jaden Ledee had a couple of assists in that game, but Fletch had the biggest one of the weekend.
I think I did.
No doubt.
So there might be love in the air. Who knows? But what I did say, Alex, if there's a wedding in the future, all 3 of us must be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And secondly, he needs to get married on my birthday to make up for the fact that I got married on his birthday.
Which, by the way, is coming up on Wednesday.
Sorry, wait, is there a marriage on Wednesday?
No.
Wait,
Are we announcing at least an engagement on Wednesday?
Probably not. Alex is going to the Sweet 16 in LA on Thursday, so I would doubt it.
So here's the backstory. Friday, we went out after we did the Aztecs watch over at Dave & Buster's, which was a ton of fun. But then at night, we went and saw David Koechner over at the American Comedy Company. Along with us was Fletch's brother, Alex. Alex brought a date, and actually it was sort of a blind date set up by Fletch. We'll call her M.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Should we call M and ask her what she thought of us, really, and the date?
Yeah. I think we should get clearance from M, and if she wants to come on the show and give the full breakdown of her date with all of us,
Right.
And also your brother, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, like, we tried our hardest to steal the show and steal some hearts, and I think we did. But yeah, really interested to see how the blind date went. Also, was it one of those situations where they were texting at first, and all of a sudden he shows up and she goes, "You don't look anything like Megan Fox."
Right.
That's what you told me.
I think she was more just glad he doesn't look anything like me.
Right.
Is that how you sold it when you set up the blind date?
I believe I said skinnier, better looking version of me, more successful, more handsome, more loved.
Wait. Hang on. You're making a list of all the great things about us.
Yeah, and you have a lot of things that are almost positive.
Shockingly good cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, by the way, I know it sounds backhanded. That was one of my contributions. Because
like no one you'll ever meet.
Also true.
The Fletcher confidence is real. I've been saying that for years now.
I put this one on the list. Towers over anyone shorter than 5'9".
That's hilarious. So funny.
It's accurate. It's accurate. Yeah, we're doing an exercise where we write things about each other. And so far, some of these things have gone
You
off.
see what I put for Rich? Mad Riz, yo.
I actually had to Google Riz.
Riz was the word of the year in 2023.
It really
I
was.
learned that this morning.
It really, really was. Also, another personal note to pass along. TD had a full Thanksgiving dinner yesterday.
Hey, you lucky son of a gun.
So he saves, we talked about this in November. This man saves a bird. So he has one bird they make for Thanksgiving, and then he intentionally freezes a 20+ pound turkey to later come the springtime thaw. Yeah. So you have Thanksgiving, but once you're like half a year away and you're thinking, gosh, you know what would be good right now? Thanksgiving dinner. Travis Dale and Sarah Dale host a Thanksgiving dinner at their house. He popped champagne. They made taters. They made stuffing. Yeah. They did everything.
Did you make it to a half year? Is this a little early?
We're probably a little early. It's probably not quite a half year because we do wait for a rainy weekend in March.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's a special day. And yesterday was that day. God, it was great.
I am so impressed that you're able to wait that long. For me, I know what would happen. I would be like, yeah, rainy day in March. And then it's going to be like
December 3rd.
Yeah, we won't even make it out of the year. Yeah, it's like, well, it's the day before New Year's Eve. It's kind of like March.
Well, tell you what, it's great. The day after you do it, you got leftovers.
I love that so much. Yeah, by the way, it wouldn't be upsetting if you brought in turkey sandwiches for the crew. Okay, Nobody would complain about that. Right. Nobody would complain. Okay, so to the Aztecs. Yale comes in, and I'm pretty sure these entitled nerds had their stepmoms playing for them or something because,
Ayo.
I mean, it really was. Were there butlers out there? Was the valet
busy? There was one
on the
butler, and he was dominating.
Well, that was Lamont Butler. He's an Aztec. I'm talking about like the Yale Bulldogs, actual butlers. Like this Ivy League team thought that they could contend with the Aztecs. Are you kidding me?
So did you guys watch any of Yale against Auburn?
I did, and it made me very nervous.
Okay, same. Because here's the deal with Yale in that game. Like this Pouladikis kid, or however you say his name, had 28 points. He hit a bunch of threes, and he was awesome against Auburn.
Wait, could we rewind to the last name?
Yeah, what was that?
It's Pouladikis. It's something like that.
Is it three words?
No, it's John Pouladikis. I believe that is how you say it.
What is that Greek for, I wonder?
Pouladikis.
Sorry.
That's how you say it, for sure.
Wait, whoa. Were you butchering this on purpose?
No, that was just my brain. But Pouladikis, that's his name. I apologize. It took a while. I said Deke, like in hockey. But it's Pouladikis.
Is his first name Anthony?
No.
Oh,
his first name's John. But in the game against Auburn, he had 28 points. It was on fire from three. And so you know what Dutch and Velasquez said, okay, well, Lamont, you're guarding him.
Yeah.
And guess what he did in the first half? 0 points.
Yeah. The cool thing about the Aztecs they are such good defenders that they're in every single game if their defense speaks, and they did last night. What a nightcap, right? Because it was one of those games where I thought, well, boy, if they make this even close, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping. If this is a bad game for the Aztecs, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping. So I hope they just beat the cheese out of these guys, and that's exactly what they did. I slept like a baby last night.
Same.
I'm sure the rest of San Diego was like, no heartburn. Like you could have turned it off at the half, and that's a game for sure. They would end up sailing to victory. They were playing so well. Brian Dutcher was elated after the game. We got to hear his comments during the post-game press conference. And he's looking ahead already to UConn, as all good coaches do, because that's their Sweet 16 opponent. Here's Dutch at the podium.
No, that's the beauty of being young. I'll be intimidated, but I'll get them ready to play, and we'll go out there and we'll play in a hostile environment in Boston against a great UConn team and see where it ends up. That's the beauty of playing these games. So we're going to go in with a game plan and with a bunch of guys that believe they can win, and we'll see how it ends.
So it's kind of funny how this is playing out to the exact same script last year played out, like literally to a T. Like it's a tough, gritty first game win against a team that's probably a little underseeded against a really good UAB team with a big offense. Very similar to Charleston a year ago. And San Diego State ekes by them, not playing their best basketball, but not their worst, doing enough to win. And then in the second round, they come out and play loose and free and just dominate the 13 seed, which, by the way, like they should do, dominate the 13 seed in this tournament. And then you get literally the tournament number one. A year ago, it was Alabama, who was the best team in the country all season long. This year, it is the tournament number one, the number one of all the number one seeds against UConn, who has been the most dominant, best team in college basketball all season long. So it's funny how this is playing out the exact same way. And Dutch called it to a T about 3 weeks ago on the Coaches Show on Thursday nights here on San Diego Sports 760, when he said, if we make our threes, it doesn't really matter who we're playing against. Well, through 2 games in the NCAA tournament, the Aztecs have been making their threes. So, Rich, what you talked about with the defense showing up, if the defense shows up, they'll be in a game against anybody. If the three-pointer shows up, they can beat anybody. And I think that's the biggest thing Aztecs fans should have their fingers crossed about heading into Thursday. If San Diego State makes shots, they are going to be tough to beat for UConn. Now, even in a perfect game for San Diego State, UConn can still win. They're that good. But if San Diego State can make their shots, they will be in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the first, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of that game last night, they were 6 and 10 or 7 and 10 on their threes. So, I mean, they were just draining them. And it showed. I mean, they were just walking away with the thing. They're going to have to do that again to beat UConn.
Maybe even better.
Yeah, UConn is a wall they're going to run up against. And a rematch here. So you're going to have some head space that's getting played with a little bit. The Aztecs needed a game like that. They needed to dominate, to go into UConn with feeling good, feeling the confidence level, feeling that they could do it. Otherwise, I think this would be a blowout.
Head into Boston in the Sweet 16 to face UConn. You have Jaden Ledee post-game talking about his expectations moving forward, his excitement level for this upcoming matchup. Here's the all-star player for the Aztecs, Ledee.
You know, it's good. You know, we kind of had a little bitter taste in our mouths last year after they beat us. But, I mean, we get to, play them again, and they're a great team. We're going to get back, game plan, and, get ready to play them in Boston.
Back-to-back dominant performances from Ledee. You look at him in the opening round, he looked like one of the only players really honestly ready to play against Alabama Birmingham. The rest of the team caught up. The role players caught up. The script in the second half, if you're watching the game, became feed the paint, get it to 13, he'll do something special, or he'll get fouled turning to the basket. And that's exactly how they beat Alabama Birmingham. And in game 2, like we just talked about, the shooter shot, and those shots fell. And when you have great perimeter shooting, you can literally beat anyone in college basketball.
I mean, that's easy, right? I mean, it doesn't pick a sport. If you have a team sport, if you have a leader that emerges, everyone will follow that leader. Everyone will follow right in line, and you're going to elevate everybody's game, and that's what we saw last night.
Something pretty incredible with Ledee last night. He became the Aztecs' all-time leader in terms of field goals made in a single season, passing Michael Cage. So he already passed him for the points, but a lot of that was, Jaden Ledee shot more free throws than any other Aztec this year and made more free. So this last night, he was able to pass him for most field goals made in a single season. And by the way, Ledee was 2 for 2 from 3 yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other special part of his game is he's worked so hard on perimeter shooting himself that he actually can be trusted from beyond the arc. And it comes in handy because sometimes when all of a sudden you're getting double teams in the paint and it's opening up perimeter shots, you'll start seeing the wings kind of creep out there toward the 3-point line. And then when you want to start isoing and get your ball handlers to drive the lane, you get him outside. And then all of a sudden those doubles start happening and you can kick it to him and he can score. It's hard to beat this team when they're on. You could say that about a lot of teams, but they're so versatile, especially because of him. He's such a special player that they will be hard to beat, especially against the Huskies. It's going to be a raucous environment. Obviously, UConn, all of those fans, short trip to Boston. Many of them live in the city of Boston. So
it's
the
going to be a
Huskies
home game.
Are going to have support. Yeah, there's no question about it. But the Aztecs, they're used to hostile environments. The Mountain West provides tons of them. They weren't a good road team. They were not a good road team this season. So they will be tested here. But my goodness, like I said, last night, you slept well knowing that the Aztecs took control of their destiny because you said it, and I think you said it best, TD. They needed to roll into this matchup, this rematch, this vengeance game against the team that knocked them out of the tournament last year in the final game, with a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence, and that's what they got, beating the dog out of Yale.
You guys talking about free throws. Did you see the Houston, Texas A&M?
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
Wow.
End of regulation. How about that shot?
Yeah, oh,
Okay, how about the two awful shots before the shot?
Which all occurred, by the way, in like
7
4
seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. The point guard for Texas A&M took 2 of the worst last-second 3-point shots I've ever seen in my life, and somehow he got 2 of them. And then luckily the ball just goes out of bounds, and they got a jump ball. That's right.
Yeah.
With like 1 second on the clock, and then somehow someone's wide open at the top of the key. It didn't make sense at the end of that game.
Yeah, the Cougars held on to win. A lot of 1 seeds won. Do we want to hit a quick halftime here, because we could recap some of the college basketball?
Why don't we hear from Darion Trammell?
Okay.
And he was the star of the Sweet 16 a year ago against Alabama with all the 7-foot guards that Alabama had. Darion Trammell, who stands at 5'10", was the best player on the court a year ago. Here he was talking about the rematch with UConn.
Yeah, I think we're just excited. We get to get another crack at them. Obviously, they won the national championship last year, but I feel like we were right there. Just to get another chance at it, I think we're up for the opportunity. We have the team to do it.
So everybody's saying the same thing, from Dutch to Ledee to Trammell. I mean, this team's focused. There was, trust me when I tell you, very little talk about the game that was just played. It was really looking forward to the next matchup, because we know what this is. It's survive and advance, single elimination. Only the strong will survive, blah, blah, blah. This is the best postseason in all of sports. You whittle a large field down to a champion. It's the auto bids make the conference tournaments important. The seeding and rankings make the regular season important. College basketball really got a lot figured out, and this is a special time of year for any sports fan. Okay, we're going to get to a breaking story that keeps getting weirder and weirder the further down the rabbit hole we go, and we'll return to this story many times today, but first this.
I see a bunch of guys playing with their technique and fundamentals.
It's halftime. All right, Rich, what do you got for us?
All right, let's do it. Let's recap college basketball. The slate of games from yesterday. 1 seed Purdue beats up on Utah State, 106-67 final. Another 1 seed UConn took down the 9th seeded Northwestern by a score of 75-58. Goodness. Another 1 seed survives and advances. We were just talking about it, as the Houston Cougars beat Texas A&M in overtime, 195. 2 seeded Marquette knocks out Colorado, 81-77.
Such a good game.
Yeah. 4 seed Duke beat the brakes off of James Madison, who was a 12 seed in their round of 32 game. A 93-55 final there. Goodness. 4 seed Alabama took care of business against 12 seed GCU, 72-61 finish to that one. But the game that everybody cared about here in San Diego was complete domination, as 5 seed San Diego State knocked out 13 seed Yale by a score of 85-57. Jaden Ledee dominant. The shots were falling from the perimeter. Beautifully done. Okay, San Diego Padres, they had their Saturday moment to remember Peter Seidler. It took place at Petco Park 5 days before the Padres play their home opener. A lot of laughs, definitely a lot of emotion that poured out. So this has been a very weird trip, past couple of days, going from South Korea, where this enormous story broke about the Dodgers. Well, they split the Seoul series, then they land and immediately foisted into this very emotional engagement. And then they're going to have 2 exhibitions that they have to play in to finish out spring training before they start their season. This is adversity. This is what it looks like. Now, it's a long season. We talk about that a lot. 162 games. They've already played 2 of them, so 160 left. But it's going to be a weird start for the Padres this season.
For sure. And not that I was expecting anything less, but every single Padre was at the celebration of life for Peter Seidler. And that's pretty special, coming off of the trip that they were just on, making it back to San Diego, really having a day to kind of get your life back together and see the kids and kiss your wife. And then you're back at Petco Park the next day, honoring someone I truly believe they all really loved. And it was cool to hear AJ Preller talk. In fact, I thought AJ did an excellent job, and he was growing out a little stash, like, as a celebration of Peter, which I think was a nice touch. And I thought AJ, for all the things I think about him, and for as crappy a job I think he's done at times as the GM of this team, I thought he absolutely knocked it out of the park. We'll play that audio a little later on in the show. But credit to him, credit to everyone who spoke, and it looked like a really, really beautiful day out at Petco Park. Rich, you can speak to this. Most owners don't have that same feeling around a town, around a team, around the players, around everybody.
It's unique what Peter Seidler meant to this community. Look, Peter was a friend of mine. Yeah, I still struggle when I think about losing Peter. It's not easy. It's not easy when somebody's so young. He's 63. You know, a lot of times we think about sports owners and it's these white beard, billionaires who sit up top a ivory tower, and all of us are being looked down upon in some ways by them. He was a man of the people. He wasn't that. And he was a young man, and he was somebody who really seemed to care. Actually, I can promise you he cared. I can tell you from my experiences with him, he cared. The way he talked about this city, the way he talked about this community, the way he helped support this community, the things he did for that baseball team. It goes beyond what you just saw or what was written about. There was so much more. And those discussions I had with him, sometimes out of the blue. Like I remember one time we were all golfing one day, and I had to miss like 4 holes of golf because he called me on my cell phone, and I had an hour-long conversation with him just because.
Travis and I thought you were cheating on us again.
Yeah, we did.
Well, because you just said, hey, hang on, Pete's calling me. And we're like, who the hell's Pete?
I mean, they're like, Pete, did you do a radio show with him too?
It's luck, Pete.
But
TD and I were just putting for like an hour waiting for you to get off the phone.
Well,
cruising around your own car, talking to Pete.
Just giggling and, oh, you're so funny.
I got to the point where I literally said to him, I was like, hey, so by the way, we're 45 minutes into this phone call. I was like, by the way, I didn't even ask. I was like, to what do I owe this pleasure? Why are you giving me a buzz, bud? Because we were just chatting. We were just catching up. And it was like, I saw you on the herd and you said something funny. And I was like, I haven't talked to you in a while. So I figured I'd pick up the phone. And I was just like, you know what? I was like, I got to be honest with you. I was like, this is not something that most people in your position would care to have time for. I mean, I'm sure you have time to do things you want to do, but I would assume you would want to spend your time better than talking to a schnook like me while I'm out, drinking and playing golf. And he was like, no, he's like, this is what I'm doing today. He was like, and I appreciate you picking up the call. He was like, how you golfing? I'm like, not good. I'm going to be honest with you. Not good at all.
By the way, no credentials. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. By the way, don't you show your face in my press box ever again.
I think that was the first thing Travis and I said when you guys hung up. You were like, oh, sorry, that was Peter Seidler. And we're like, oh, all is forgiven on the cheating side. Did you ask him about our credentials?
And you know what the funny thing is? I never, ever, ever talked any business with Peter. I would always talk, I don't know, about life and stuff. I mean, baseball came up, but.
And guess what? That's probably part of the reason he loved calling you.
I loved him. I really, honestly, that was a guy who was as genuine as the day is long, and Peter will be missed. And I'm so glad that the Padres did the right thing, celebrating his life. I'll say it. I'll say it until one day when I lay my head down for good. Build the statue. I want people to know about Peter Seidler. I want people to ask questions when they walk past the statue about Peter Seidler. Build the statue, Padres. Do the right thing. Okay. Moving on from that, we will get to the biggest story in Major League Baseball, maybe ever. And I mean, we've had scandals, the steroid era, the Black Sox. I mean, there have been things that have rocked the world of baseball in the past, strikes during the 80s and 90s. I mean, this could topple baseball if they don't handle it correctly. We'll get to that on the other side. But first, I want to talk to everybody about STFatLoss.com. You hear us talk about this all the time, and it's because we can't stop talking about it. It's like when somebody goes vegan, like you talk to John Fink on Kogo News.
Right.
All he wants to tell you about is the black bean burrito he had last night.
That's correct.
But for us, what we want to talk about, because we're shrinking, we're getting smaller, we're losing all the fat. We want to talk about our weight loss plan and strategy, and that's through STFatLoss.com with Wayne and Chloe, our weight loss team. They help the three of us cumulatively lose over 120 pounds. I mean,
It doesn't seem possible.
That's an adult woman. Yeah. We lost an adult woman's worth of weight.
You know what's cool though? We lost that weight and then we haven't gained it back.
Yeah, it's so smart the way they set it up. It's not one of these fad diets where you yo-yo diet, meaning you lose all the weight, you gain it back. It's one of these diets where you get on the weight loss plan and you say, okay, cool. I lost 30 plus pounds. For Travis, he lost 30 plus pounds. For Fletch, he lost 40 plus pounds. Okay, so now what? Then they say, oh, good job. We're going to switch into the maintenance phase now. You can still eat what you like, and you can even eat more of the things you really like, but we're going to keep the wheels on. We're not going to spin out. We're not going to lose control. We're not going to gain all the weight back, and it's worked perfectly. If you're like us, and you were looking in the mirror the other day and you're like, you know what? I'm getting pretty fat. Then it's time to do something about it. SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's TD, and I got a question for you. Are you all about the NBA action? If so, you got to try Pick 6, the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. And right now, new customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match of up to $100 in Pick 6 credits when you deposit $5 or more. Now, getting started, it's easy. Just download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and then sign up with code SD760. That's the code you need, SD760, if you want to get that match. And then you're going to pick at least 2 players and choose if they're going to have more or less of a stat, like will they score more or less than 30 points or have more or less than 8 assists. You lock them in and you compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes. And I was literally 1 point away from a $200 payout last night. You know what? I'll try it again tonight. No big deal. So download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and get started with code SD760. New customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 in Pick 6 credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Pick 6 with code SD760. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer, minimum $5 deposit to receive a match of up to $100 in Pick 6 credits, which are non-withdrawable and valid for Pick 6 use only. Expire after 180 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states, including but not limited to Connecticut and New York. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This update is presented by the Jim Betrayal Real Estate Team. Starting off this morning in the NCAA tournament, Aztecs heading back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year on Friday night, Friday afternoon. San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Yesterday, Aztecs dominating Yale 85-57, and then on Thursday, we'll have a rematch of last year's national championship game. San Diego State taking on UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39 on Thursday. Padres home opener coming up on Thursday at Petco Park. The San Francisco Giants coming to town, and the entire Padres team was in attendance for the celebration of life for Peter Seidler at Petco Park on Saturday. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Betrayal has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Rolling through a Monday. Big Seating Pledge. San Diego Sports 760. We have a pair of Social D tickets again? Right on. Social D, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, April 12th. Special guest, Bad Religion. Tickets and info, Ticketmaster.com, or just keep it locked in here for your chance to win those.
Love that. So Social D tickets, they sold like hotcakes last week. We're doing it again. This is going to be an interesting situation. And I'm very curious the turns this story takes as we find out more information. Because right now, Major League Baseball has opened an investigation looking deeply into this Ippei Mitsuharu, the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani, who now not only allegedly has stolen $4.5 million from Shohei to cover his gambling debts, he's done it with a sports book that operates out of Southern California, where it's illegal to sports bet, under federal investigation, and has a checkered past because he didn't go to UC Riverside. He didn't go and work for the Boston Red Sox, like it said in the Angels media guide, and he never worked for the Yankees. So either A, the Angels did an awful job in character research leading up to the hiring of Ippei Mitsuharu, or potentially, and again, this is mere speculation. I mean, did Shohei had anything to do with his hiring there? I'm very curious, like, why he was paired with Shohei Ohtani and why they were so careless in their research on this person who's going to be so close with this player who, I'm assuming at the time the Angels thought could change baseball forever. He was considered the Japanese Babe Ruth, and he's really made good on that promise.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, there are so many weird, left turns there that I just quite can't follow. I mean, he said he worked at UC Riverside. He did not. He said he worked for the Red Sox. He did not, or at least they can't confirm he did. They don't find any records. So they haven't actually officially said, nope, never here. But he has said that that there is no record, or they've said there is no record of him being there.
What I'm curious about is what Shohei Ohtani says today. It's been confirmed that he's going to speak to the media. Now, is this going to be a situation where he takes questions? Because there's going to be some tough questions coming his way if he does, or is this just he's going to get up there, read a statement in Japanese, have a different interpreter read it in English, and we'll just get whatever that is, and it's going to be nothing?
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. You don't think they open up to questions at all because that's too much of a risk?
No. I don't think they're going to. I think he is going to make a statement. I think he'll address some of the things. I honestly, I'm not exactly sure why.
Yeah, why not just put something out on social media with a cool graphic in the background that has 3 paragraphs on it?
Yeah, I'm really not sure why they're doing this. Maybe the Dodgers feel like they need to do it. Which again, everything about this story. Okay. Let's speculate, because it seems like everybody's afraid to speculate, and I'm not sure why, but let's speculate. Let's say that Shohei Ohtani, maybe he likes to gamble. Maybe he likes to sports bet. Maybe he didn't want anybody to know that publicly, or it's available for public consumption or knowledge, that he was spending an insane amount of money on sports bets. So instead, he used a go-between, and that go-between, I guess, was going to books that weren't operating, in the legal circles of sports betting, and things got caught up. Now, does that implicate Shohei in any way? I don't know. I don't know the rules. Like, if you're the one fronting the money, will you go down if a sports book is operating out of the wrong place? I mean, I guess you could claim, well, I didn't know where the sports book was from. They told us they were from Vegas, or how all that. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, maybe he could get by. And if you didn't bet on baseball, is it really a problem? If you didn't bet on any games while he was within the confines of a major league clubhouse, is that a problem? Like, people are allowed to do what they want to do. They just can't break the rules of the game they play. So maybe he's freed from every single allegation or proven guiltless in all of this. But it just feels like there's more to this story.
Yeah, well, it sure feels like there's something being swept under a rug somewhere, or hidden, or they're trying to shove something back in a closet. Something is being hidden from our view somewhere. At least that's what my gut says. And it feels like you guys think the same thing.
For sure. I think the exact same thing. Now, I do wonder what Major League Baseball does with this, because if something is being covered up in 2024, it's going to come out. I think that's just where we're at in today's day and age. It's not the Pete Rose MLB. I think Pete Rose probably could have gotten away with it if he was a little bit better at it. Right now in 2024, if some wrongdoing was done, it will come out somehow, some way. There's too many people that know things. Obviously, the story's out there right now. And Rich, the speculation you just laid out has run rampant throughout the internet. That's what everyone kind of thinks right now. Maybe the public's wrong. Maybe Shohei Ohtani's completely guiltless in this, and he was just trying to help out a friend. But I don't really think that's the case. And if it isn't the case, it's going to come out publicly, and Major League Baseball will have to make a decision on this. Major League Baseball, who loves that Shohei Ohtani is this perfect go-between between an Asian audience and a Major League profession that's really made in the US of A. And so Major League Baseball can't really afford to lose Shohei Ohtani, but the precedent has been set that if you are illegally gambling while you are a Major League Baseball player, you will be instituted a lifetime ban from the sport.
And that's the rub, right? I mean, is it Major League Baseball loses their guy, or does Major League Baseball lose credibility?
Well, and also, I don't think what you said is 100% accurate.
Pete Rose was betting on baseball.
Yeah, he was betting on the sport that he played or managed. Like, that's very different than what we're talking about here. If there were no bets on baseball, if he was sticking to basketball or soccer. Well, that's what we know for now. But I'm saying if there were other sports and then none of them were baseball, then, I mean, this is a guy who's, I mean, maybe he did business with a book he shouldn't have done business with. And maybe there are even guidelines and rules against that in Major League Baseball. We'll see. But I mean, we're not talking about the same thing. Pete Rose bet on the sport that he plays. Now, I'm not 100% convinced that we're not going to find out that there weren't bets placed on basebol,
because now we have the interpreter saying baseball was never touched,
right? And that's what I'm sure anybody would say in his situation to protect somebody who's a friend, and clearly there was a boatload of guilt attached to getting caught because he did speak to the Dodgers privately away from the public eye when he knew that this story was going to come out, and was extremely apologetic in their clubhouse over in Seoul, South Korea before his firing. So this is a tangled web of stories, and I guess we're going to have our next layer to it with Shohei speaking to the public today. Very curious what he says to the public.
Well, with an interpreter. How can we trust that interpreter?
Well, I mean, yeah. Hopefully the Dodgers did slightly better background on this interpreter than the Angels did. I mean, also, like, this is the other thing. It's like I picture maybe like okay. So my grandpa used to say this: like, you can fool everyone or you can fool everyone some of the time. You can fool some people all the time, but you can't fool everyone all the time. And so I remember one time I got caught up in a lie with him, and he explained that to me. I got punished. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, that's a really smart thing to remember, because there are some people who you just feel like in the back of your mind, like, I don't know if I could trust this person. Well, Ippo Mitsuharu obviously had everyone fooled, but it only lasts some of the time. And finally, the other shoe dropped. So the other speculation I'll offer is maybe this guy was just a great con man. Maybe because of the language barrier, he was able to convince Shohei to spend money thinking he was spending money on something else, and he was going to an illegal sports book to spend the money. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. Anything's possible at this point.
I'm interested to hear how this shakes out. I mean, with today from Shohei, I'm interested to hear what he has to say, because I don't know, man. I'm with you. I wouldn't address anything. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. This dude's a liar. I mean, look, he never even worked at UC Riverside. Whatever.
Yeah, it feels like the media is on Shohei's side right now. We'll see if that tide turns. All right, coming up next, a lot of complaints about this in college sports, but all of a sudden, it may save one particular sport that's very important to the NCAA. We'll explain on the other side. Before we do that, I want to talk to you about the Good Feet store. Goodfeet.com. If you want to book your appointment today, they're arch supports. And what these do is you slide them into your shoes. And if you have lower body joint pain, these are a game changer. Like, so if you have foot pain or ankle pain, knee, hip, back pain, whatever you're struggling with, it may be because you're just not balanced right on your feet, and your feet are the foundation for the rest of your body. You'll be shocked. When I put the arch supports in my shoes for the first time, I'm like, is this the way I'm supposed to stand? Like, is it? And by the way, they were comfortable. I didn't feel like I was tripping over my own feet. I felt like I was actually walking the right way for the first time. After a week's time, I noticed my knee pain settle down. After 2 weeks' time, I realized I was waking up without back pain anymore. I woke up with back pain every single morning, and I was starting to get this intense right hip pain. I was going to go book an image or a MRI at an imaging center to take a look at that. I canceled that appointment. It's unbelievable. So if you're like me, you struggle with lower body joint pain, goodfeet.com. There's one near you. I promise there's 200 plus around the United States and overseas. That's goodfeet.com. All right, coming up next, everybody thought it was the villain of college sports. Well, it may be saving a really important one. That's on the other side.
Hey, it's Fletch for primetimes.golf. Look, if you're trying to play some more golf here in the new year, primetimes.golf is the place to be. Primetimes.golf, it's a dating app for salespeople. Begin your next client relationship on a golf course with an ideal prospect who you select and who accepted your invitation. Meet up for golf, expand your network within your industry, role, or community in networking golf groups. Secure tee times today to golf with clients or partners at beautiful golf courses weeks in advance. Grow your business by playing more golf. And doesn't that sound amazing? Primetimes.golf. It's business golf simplified. You can do two options: networking golf, which is awesome because if you go to primetimes.golf right now, it's free to sign up. You'll see golf available this week as early as Wednesday at Twin Oaks, or next week at Coronado, Steel Canyon, and then later in April at Arrowwood. Some awesome tracks on primetimes.golf. Sign up, pay the green fees, secure your spot, and play. You'll be able to network with 16 other people and play on one of the hidden gems or one of the awesome courses here in San Diego. Option number 2, value golf. It's $50 a month, but if those tee times that I was just talking about don't fill up 72 hours in advance, those unsold tee times open up and you can book the same courses for just $20. Imagine paying $20 for a green fee here in San Diego. It's unheard of. With value golf on primetimes.golf, you can book up to 3 tee times for an additional $20 a round. It's a no-brainer here in San Diego. Tee times are super hard to come by, especially on the courses I was just talking about, and it's a great value either way. Log on to primetimes.golf today. Sign up is free. Then choose if you want to sign up for a tee time already available to secure your spot, or sign up for value golf and wait for any unsold tee times to open up and still get to play 3 times per month. In a nutshell, that's it. Primetimes.golf. That's the place to go. Sign up today.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on a Monday morning, San Diego Sports 760. We still got those Social D tickets. We're going to be giving those out real soon, so keep listening for that opportunity. Also, coming up on the other side, we'll get back to the Aztecs, but first, let's talk about the health of college basketball overall. So a lot of complaints about name, image, and likeness money. A lot of complaints about the amount of money that is moving into the pockets of these players. I'll give you some of the budgets from an NIL standpoint for some of these teams that are in the Sweet 16. Like, for example, UConn is spending $24 million.
What?
Duke, $28 million. Marquette, 15.8. Iowa State, 15.2. Iowa State. Okay, North Carolina, 14.5 million. San Diego State is in last place with a bullet at $7.2 million, which says a lot about San Diego State.
That's honestly still more than I thought it was.
It's pretty incredible. But I'm going to take this to a different part of the conversation that I think needs to be highlighted. We're seeing more and more veteran teams. We're seeing more and more 4th and 5th, and in certain cases, because of COVID, 6-year players staying on campus collecting NIL instead of moving on to their next opportunity. Maybe it's not even in basketball. Maybe it's in the workforce somewhere, selling insurance or working in finance or whatever it is that's next for these athletes. Instead, they're staying on campus. And then some of these NBA future stars who might be, I don't know, second-round draft picks, like a Draymond Green. They're staying at their schools and collecting these NIL checks because the schools are making it worth their while. I think NIL is actually saving college basketball in some ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, it's as you were trying to figure out, what would the bad be from NIL, all of a sudden you have the good here that's pretty damn good. I mean, players sticking around, that's awesome.
By the way, the level of basketball that's been played.
Right. Sorry, really quick. I was talking about operating budgets. This doesn't even include NIL. So San Diego State, with the lowest operating budget of anybody else, made it to the national championship game last year, and they're in the Sweet 16 this year.
Well, and look at what that has paid dividends. Like Lamont Butler, all of a sudden, is the face of the new soccer team that's coming to San Diego. He did a big ad campaign for them in March, and then the entire team is working with Blenders, a San Diego sunglasses company. So, the NIL opportunities for Aztecs basketball are coming. Aztecs football and Sean Lewis, they got to figure out how to make it happen because it's the number one thing in today's college life. But look at the level of games that we've seen over the last week and a half now. There's not a whole lot of positives to breaking your ankle. One of them has been I've been able to watch pretty much every game that's been going on because, oh, sorry, sweetie, I got to ice my ankle. Can I have the TV remote, please? That's basically been how it's going at the house. And it's been so good, man. Even the blowouts, like you're seeing, Rich, what you just said, these 4th, 5th, 6th year guys who obviously care so much about the programs that they're in. And it just adds another level of meaning to these games.
Yeah. Oh, no, you were pointing at me. I thought you wanted me to add something here. No, I agree with Fletch completely. Yeah. I mean, completely. I think because I was very skeptical of NIL, and I think this is a very good thing. I mean, it bodes well for the players. It bodes well for the cities. It bodes very well for the schools.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fun. It really is fun to see what it's turned into. It's chaos right now, but it may get organized and it may end up being a positive.
Only one upset in the round of 32. Clemson was the only team. They were a 6 seed who beat a 3 seed. Only one upset in the round of 32.
Well, when you have the players who stick around year after year, it gives it more of a professional team feel.
Oh, wait, that's not true because NC State also, another upset. Yeah. They beat a high seed. NC State's an 11.
Right, but they beat Texas Tech.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, Clemson was favored even though they were a 6 going up against a 3. So that was the true upset.
Yeah.
There was only one upset there was 2 high lower, whatever. Tell me about your teeth.
All right. I do want to talk to you guys about something that it doesn't really register as something all that important to me until you meet a really good dentist. Like a lot of people, when they start looking for a dentist, they typically just try to find one near their house, and I get that, or where they work. I completely understand. But I for the first time, I had an issue that I really needed a great dentist for. And I'm so glad that I did the work of asking around because LaDonna Harvey over at Kogo News referred me to Dr. Jordan Colby over at Ocean View Dental. I needed to have a tooth extraction. I needed to have 3 implants put in. I mean, my molars were a mess. I had cracked a bunch of teeth playing football over my 6-year NFL career, and I never got them worked on because I was worried about having dental surgery during my career. Well, now I'm in broadcasting, so I'm running this mouth all the time, and I'm thinking, well, this isn't a good time to get it done either. So I wanted to go with a pro, and Dr. Jordan Colby handled all that for me. I was on the air the very next day after having a tooth extracted and 3 new teeth put in. I mean, it was just an incredible process, and he is an incredible dentist and oral surgeon. He does it all in his office. You're not going to get referred out to other places. You do everything at Ocean View Dental. He's got a place in Oceanside, another office in Fallbrook. They give your family the attention they deserve, and it feels like family in there. Everybody knows your name. You sit in that waiting room, and usually it's a short wait, and you're meeting with a great dentist, and you're enjoying views of the Pacific Ocean while you're getting your teeth worked on. It's pretty awesome. Again, it's Ocean View, so it's not just a clever name. You actually have a view of the ocean. Anyways, check them out at oceanviewdental.net. That's oceanviewdental.net.
It's hour 2 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on San Diego Sports 760. This update presented by Sid's Carpet Barn. Starting off in the NCAA tournament, Aztecs headed back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year on Friday. San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Yesterday, Aztecs dominating Yale 85-57. On Thursday, we get a rematch of last year's national championship game as San Diego State takes on UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39 on Thursday. Padres home opener coming up on Thursday at Petco Park as the San Francisco Giants are coming into town. For over 70 years, San Diegans have trusted Sid's Carpet Barn for all their floor covering needs. At Sid's, you'll always find great service, low everyday prices, and the largest selection of carpet, wood, laminate, and tile flooring with immediate installation too. Visit Sid's Carpet Barn or sidscarpet.com.
Woo! Happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. San Diego Sports 760. Redaction. NC State did not upset anybody to get to the Sweet 16. Benjamin Fletcher, our very own Fletch, our college basketball analyst, was 100% right.
Telling the misinformation my ass.
Well, no, that is still true. That holds up. But
yeah. I mean,
when it comes to college basketball, your information could not be any more on page. You were 100% right. Round of 16 has only given entrance to one true upset, a 6 beating a 3 seed. Clemson advances. I mean, but still, it's very chalky.
So the first round, tons of upsets.
Yeah.
3 11 seeds won, a 14 seed won, a 13. So it was just craziness in the first round. Then the round of 32, Clemson won as a 6 seed. NC State won as an 11 seed against 14 Oakland.
Right, right. Oakland, who, I mean, shocked the world, taking down Kentucky. And by the way, John Calipari, who's under fire now in Kentucky, has this lifetime contract. The buyout's over $30 million. He was even talking about what we discussed earlier in the show today about how NIL has really changed the landscape of the game, and where he used to be like a one and done coach. He was just trying to feed the NBA with all these great high school recruits that had to play in college basketball, and he'd load his team up. But since he's been at Kentucky, he has only one national championship to show for it. And actually, it was one of my former co-hosts, Steve Hartman, I was talking to over the weekend, who said that when he interviewed John Calipari shortly after he took the job at Kentucky, he remembers him saying that he was out to dinner one time and Calipari ran into a Kentucky fan. They had made a run to the Elite Eight, okay? This is like in his first or second year. And this diner came up to him in the restaurant, was like, kind of hat in hand, like, oh, John, coach, I don't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to say to you. And he was like, and he was really like emotional almost. He goes, even though the season was a failure, I'm looking forward to you running this program. And John Calipari was like, well, thank you very much. And the diner walked away from it. And he was like, we made it to the Elite Eight. The season was a failure. But that is the level of scrutiny and expectation you're under sometimes at these blue bloods. These people are used to UNC, Duke, UCLA. I mean, Kentucky. There's a lot of teams in this nation that the expectation is like, hey, we're going to be in the dance. And not only we're going to be in the dance, we're going to raise a Final Four banner at least. And so you better get us there. And his commentary, John Calipari was talking about this after them getting bounced by, this lowly 14 seed, saying like, hey, basketball's changed. We're playing against teams that are loading up on veteran players getting paid through NIL, and it's just a completely different landscape.
Rich, when you played professional football, how much did the fans help you propel yourself to a win? I mean, like they were expecting wins because New England was a machine at the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was there a piece of you that was like, yeah, there's no way we can let the fans down here. They're going to revolt.
It's more like what actually happens on game day. So when fans get loud, it makes it more difficult for your opponent's offense to communicate in football. And so as a result of that energy, your defense thrives off the energy the home crowd is making for them. It makes it more difficult. You'll see more offsides penalties by receivers and offensive linemen and tight ends. You'll see more miscues with certain route concepts not getting effectively communicated when a play is changed at the line of scrimmage. Oftentimes you'll see teams trying to operate out of the shotgun, but they have trouble operating out of the shotgun because it's, the cadence has to be a certain way. So there's a lot of different things that get affected. In basketball, man, that energy that a home crowd provides, man, it is more of like, I've got the city on my back and I'm going to go out there and dominate these fools because it's like it energizes the 5 guys on the court.
Not only the 5 guys on the court, but Dutch has talked about this a few times this year, how refs are swayed by home crowds in basketball.
Huge impact.
You look at just the pure numbers of Jaden Ledee getting to the line this year. Now, he's gotten to the line a ton in the NCAA tournament. Well, there's been a ton of Aztecs fans in Spokane. And then at Viejas Arena this year, it was insane. But if we just take a pause and a quick 30-second time out on this, take a deep breath on San Diego State, what they did a year ago, making it to the first Elite 8 in program history, then, of course, to the Final Four, then, of course, to the National Championship. I went back in our archive and I found Uncle Teddy's final call when San Diego State beat Alabama, the number 1 team in the country. And we just didn't really revisit this because it was so quickly after the Sweet 16. 2 days later, they were playing in the Elite 8.
That's right.
But now I feel like we have a little bit of time to look back at what the Aztecs did last year and the opportunity that they have this year and literally the exact same scenario and think about how special Thursday could be. Listen to this.
Across the midcourt line, a long 3. Lang, rebound, Micah. 3, 2, 1, gone! San Diego State upsets the number 1 team in the country. San Diego State upsets the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. San Diego State, for the first time in its 3rd Sweet 16, will go to the Elite 8 on Sunday on national television. They are now the darlings of the NCAA tournament. How about them boys?
Did you hear Teddy's voice crack there? I mean, if you want, oh man, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. But if you want to hear from somebody who's been through a lot with this athletic program, I mean, years and years and years with the basketball program where they were, a forgotten child of the mid-major conferences, years and years of struggles on the football field where they were a doormat for the rest of college football in the Division I ranks. And he's gotten to see so much improvement, especially over this past decade and a half with Steve Fisher coming to campus and bringing along Brian Dutcher, who would replace him as head coach, and Rocky Long coming to the Mesa with Brady Hoke and him taking over after Hoke left for the Michigan job. Hoke comes back. And then we're transitioning now into this new era on the football field, but still it's been this glorious revival to prominence for this athletic program. And Ted Leitner has rode that wave the entire way. And so that call, against Alabama, like you said, and I felt this.
Micah.
Yeah, I said it too. Like, there's no way they're beating Bama.
Never.
In my bracket, I had them getting knocked out by Alabama.
So did everyone else.
But it was just that. This is why we love March.
And so now, as crazy as it is to say, San Diego State has the opportunity to do the exact same thing again. UConn is something else, man. They've been the best team in college basketball all year long for a reason. They're going to head into Thursday's game with the utmost confidence because they're that good. They've been a buzzsaw. Look at what they've done in the tournament so far this year.
Oh, I know.
They're beating everybody by 30 again. That's just what UConn does. But San Diego State has this opportunity to go into Boston, into a largely favorable UConn crowd. We're guessing. Who knows how they travel. And San Diego State has the opportunity to do it again. Knowing from where this program was when Steve Fisher couldn't give away tickets to where this program is right now, it's pretty cool to just think about. And by the way, yesterday, something crazy that happened. Brian Dutcher in 7 years now has more NCAA tournament wins at San Diego State than Steve Fisher did.
Wow.
Jeez.
Just let that sink in.
Wow, that's crazy.
And all the NIL talk we were just doing in the last segment, like Lamont Butler gets to over 1,000 points as an Aztec. Every point he scored was with San Diego State, which in 2024, look around the country, not happening.
You know what, you want to hear something that's so fun about this matchup in the next round? UConn, San Diego State, Sweet 16. The two teams over the past 2 years who have the most tournament wins, UConn, San Diego State.
Yeah.
Like, they have 8 wins. They got one more than San Diego State. Aztecs have 7, and they get to match up in the Sweet 16. I mean, you couldn't draw this up better. Now, there's still, I'm glad you played the Alabama sound, but I am going to inject a little bit of look, this is a little bit of subjectivity.
Okay.
Little bit of a reset here.
Right.
That we are very high on our own supply right now. That was a big win. But remember, that was 13 seed Yale they just beat.
Right.
UConn is
different.
I mean, dude,
it's a little David and Goliath.
The Huskies are stacked.
Look, I'll put this in plain English for everyone. San Diego State could play a perfect game, the best they've played all year, better than they just played against Yale, and they can lose to UConn.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and I hate this. I don't like it.
No.
But it is a reality that we all will soon potentially face unless San Diego State does what it did last year and shocks the world.
Now, flip side, UConn hasn't faced a defense like San Diego State all year long.
Bingo. That is true. I mean, look what San Diego State can do when their D is completely fired up. Boy, did that come out interesting?
No, it's okay. Let it flow.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, when the big D does what it do, it really is. It's an alarming proposition for any offensive basketball team.
Think about Alabama last year.
Yeah.
They were the number 1 rated offense going into that game. Brandon Miller was the best offensive player in the country. And who ended up being the best player on the court that day? It was Darion Trammell.
Yep, dude. And I mean, it is just like us or fans in general.
Like Big Rich, TD, and Fletch?
Well, us here in this show, but all of our listeners streaming live on YouTube or X.com or listening on the free iHeartRadio app, which, by the way, if you download today, you could take us wherever you go.
Right, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch right in your pocket.
Yeah, that's right. You could like, subscribe, maybe even review. If you review, give us 5 stars. Don't waste your time with 4. And when you review it, just give us a completely different review than you would a show that you actually like.
The wontons were excellent.
Yeah. Give us a Yelp review. Say something about the ramen.
I would like a review solely about Travis Dale's neck.
Wow.
The 2 other hosts, normal necks. TD, huge neck.
Looks like a fish in a shirt.
5 stars.
I guess what I'm saying, like San Diego State has won the games they were supposed to win.
Yeah.
To this point. San Diego State's in for a freaking dogfight on Thursday, and I can't wait.
I can't wait either. I mean, we have so much to look forward to on Thursday. We have opening day at Petco Park. We have San Diego State, obviously rolling into another Sweet 16 berth. This is a huge month for San Diego.
I might be getting surgery.
You Fletch.
But do you really know that, or you're just throwing that out?
Fletch is committing insurance fraud.
Definitely not. You can look at my ankle; it's broken.
What?
I have the meeting with the ortho today. We'll see. I'm very nervous about it. You guys just make fun of me.
A lot like your high school.
I'm sorry.
A lot like your high school athletic photos. When you showed us the X-rays, all it was a broken ankle and then a number 15. Like that was it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't actually tell it was
for
you.
whatever reason, even your ankle was facing opposite the camera. It was like, here's just
because it's broken.
It's just a back view. It's like, wait, how do we know it's your foot?
Like, I wish today was Therapy Thursday, so like you guys could actually hear me and understand the amount of nerves I have going through my system right now about this meeting today, because I am scared.
So wait, you're going to go to the meeting and you're afraid they're going to say we have to do surgery?
Yeah.
And then, but what
exactly?
What is
that
surgery?
unreasonable?
No, it's a decent fear.
Yeah,
decent fear.
I mean, what does the surgery entail? Some metal plates?
Things could go really wrong.
Right. Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like it's a 50-50 shot whether or not you have that leg out of surgery.
I don't know about that.
We've talked about this before. Peg leg
60-40
eye patch. I mean, could you get used to wearing an eye patch?
I would rather just have my foot still be on and not have a peg leg.
You know what would be cool though? Like if you did an eye patch, like not the ones you wear, but you know, like when you see the movies from the future, they have an eye patch and it's just like this metal thing bolted over your eye. Like that would be manly. Kendall would dig it.
I think that's probably what you should do.
The only reason I kind of want to have surgery is for the social media of me coming out of anesthesia. Like I give you guys full permission to film the whole thing.
You are sick. I just want surgery.
Well, we were just breaking it down out of 351 schools, 64 teams in the tourney. We are now down to 16, and the Aztecs are there. They beat Yale last night, 85-57. Aztecs will now take on the number 1 seed UConn on Thursday in the Sweet 16. Woo!
That's
Love
awesome.
Love that money. In the NFL, boys, the draft exactly 30 days away from today, only a month out. In baseball, Shohei Ohtani is going to address the illegal gambling and theft allegations against his former interpreter and his friend. I mean, it was his friend, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were friends.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name though.
Mitsuhara. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, got it. Over the weekend, the Padres honored the life of Peter Seidler out at Petco Park. Very touching, very moving. Build that statue. Build that statue, man. Come on.
That dang statue.
In the NBA, the Lakers Kuyumaka'd the Pacers.
Did you just say Kuyumaka'd?
Lake Kuyumaka?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Pretty good. The Heat Miami cheesed the Cavs 121-84. Miami.
God, no, I got
keep it going.
Ham and cheese.
Remember confidence. It's all about confidence.
The Timberwolves, Dixie Line Lumber, the Warriors, 114-110. It's a timber joke.
Yep.
Fletch. The Bucks, Ingham Palace, the Thunder, 118-93.
Yep.
The 76ers, founding fathered the Clippers, 121-107.
Doesn't make sense, but it made me giggle.
1976?
Yeah.
Or no.
1776. Wait, 1976 is when our founding fathers.
Like when Travis was born.
Finally fought off the British for good.
Sweet. The Pelicans and Bottled Recycling Center, the Pistons, 114-107. 101, sorry. Read that wrong.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay.
So who won?
Yeah. The Pelicans.
They can do it. They can do it. All right. So switching gears here, we're going to cover a lot of college basketball this week as we're leading up to the Sweet 16. Out in Boston is where the Aztecs are going to take on the UConn Huskies. Again, a rematch from the championship game last year. But we've been talking about this Shohei Ohtani situation. He's going to speak at a press conference today. And my question is, what the hell is he going to say? Like, at this point, I'm not sure why Shohei Ohtani is going to speak. And anybody who's catching up with this story, basically his interpreter is being alleged to have stolen $4.5 million from Shohei Ohtani, I'm guessing through fraud, wire transfers. It's bizarre. And these monies went to a sports betting operation that's under federal investigation. Like, there's a lot of turns to this story already. And this afternoon's press conference may offer another weird turn. What do you suspect he's going to say?
I had no idea what he was doing. I was trying to help a friend in need cover a debt that he had. It was $4.5 million. I had the money. Why not give it to him?
Yeah, and he may not even say that he knew what the debt was for. I'm sure he won't, actually. Oh, he lied to me about that, too. I mean, this is going to be the biggest sweep under the rug we've ever seen in our lives, and it just depends on how much the media wants to keep uncovering or how much Major League Baseball wants to keep uncovering. My guess is not a lot.
Well, I agree with both of you, actually. After hearing what you said, I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to deny any involvement. Whether or not this guy Ippei Mitsuharu is actually a fall guy or he is guilty of what's being alleged here, he will most likely take a hard fall. But the investigation, I don't think, stops with just Major League Baseball, because we have a sports book that Mitsuharu was doing business with under federal investigation.
And there's names out there who are associated with the sports book, like the bookie who Mitsuharu was giving the money to. His name is out there, or he had the credit line with, whatever it is.
Okay, so think back to any episode of, like, I don't know, like Law and Order you've ever seen where it was like a drug case.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, or like go back to any of the movies or the shows, like The Wire on HBO.
I'm so in.
Travis loves theme songs.
So in. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow.
Like just a bendy little lead guitar riff.
I don't know why that had to be there, but I like it.
Yeah, it really didn't fit. And then it goes into a weird.
They always go to a bar and they're like, "Hey, bartender, have you seen this person?"
Yeah.
And
I don't know what you're talking about. And then another 100 comes out.
All you got to start doing is offering plea deals, and then people talk. Like, we've seen this on Law and Order. We've seen this on The Wire. We've seen this in the movies. Like, think about Training Day. Yeah, I mean, you got Denzel Washington
such a good movie,
howling in the front seat of the muscle car, and they're just shaking people down. They're just saying, "Hey, you're not gonna get in trouble if you rat on your friend." And you'd be like, "Okay."
Wait, but first, don't they have to take Shohei into like a room with no windows? Yeah. Just a door, and there's a camera in the corner.
And just rough him up.
They gotta rough him up. They gotta get somebody. They gotta shake him down.
So are you saying they're going to offer Ippei a plea deal
this is what I think is going to happen. Not
if he
Ipe,
rats on Shohei,
not Ipe, but somebody else involved with the book, right? Somebody else, some henchman who carried along actions for the bookmaker who was on a vacation. Was like, I can't do it, and normally I'm the guy. And you get a little too comfortable.
Will he have a New York accent?
Yeah, he's gonna be like, yeah, no, listen, Johnny Batch is gonna take care of this transaction for you.
Well,
You just wire it to our account. It's offshore in the Caymans. Shohei be all right, and Johnny's a good fella. That's what we call Johnny.
and this guy you're talking about could be facing like 5 years in prison for being involved with this, and they're like, hey, we're gonna wipe those 5 years if you
Check
rat.
this out. You could still put him in jail. You just be like, look, we're going to put you on a year, and then you're going to be on probation for another year instead of the 5-year stint that you're doing. You're going to go federal. You're going to federal prison. This is going to be bad for you unless you give us a little information about Ibi Mitsuho.
By the way, everyone out there, we're making all this up.
Yeah.
None of this is happening right now.
But trust me, if there is a federal investigation going on and you have eager district attorneys and you have people who are going to make a huge name for themselves, if they're the one who bust open the case where the most famous baseball player in the world is involved, even in a transient manner, you're going to probably make yourself some bones to advance your position in whatever law enforcement or law office you work for. So this is not the end of the road for Shohei Ohtani.
Any chance that Shohei comes out and just says, Shohei, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
You time these terrible puns that are definitely lap worthy for right before you have an ad read, so we don't make you take a lap.
But we're gonna do it this time. You're gonna have to do this.
Do the
ad
lap
read.
and come back and read.
Oh,
You're
God.
gonna have to do it out of breath. We knew what you were doing, you sick bastard. Look at him run. He's really running hard. Wow, he's gonna be completely out of breath for this Dave and Buster's read. I'm gonna stick around for
How
that.
was that, by the way, on Friday?
Dude, couldn't have been better.
I saw you and my brother almost make out. There was a video of that.
Yeah, we shared a pretzel stick or a breadstick like Lady in the Tramp.
I got that video and I was like, what the hell is happening?
So me and Fletch, older Fletch, we're having some beers and all of a sudden somebody handed us a breadstick. I'm like, do you want to share it? And he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Are we talking about Dave and Buster's?
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
God, yeah, we had a good time at Dave and Buster's.
Hey, thank you to all of the listeners of this station who showed up, because that I mean, first and foremost, it was fun just walking tables and talking to everybody. If we didn't get to you, we apologize. We wanted to get out of everybody's way after halftime ended. But that was a blast. We had a SeaWorld ticket winner while we were there. That was a fun giveaway. And then we played some Papa Shop with Tony. Oh my God. So Tony Kanja beats our brakes off in Papa Shop basketball.
Right.
Alex Fletcher, by the way, awesome basketball.
Okay,
Awesome shot.
Like putting up more points than I thought was possible.
Alex Fletcher put up 70 something.
We had one in our back room. Was he doing the one hand?
Dude, yeah. It was like watching a machine.
And we used to have one at home.
And then, dude, I beat Travis Dale on a motorcycle racing game.
Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, listen.
I couldn't believe it.
Way to take advantage of him while he was drunk.
You know what was crazy? We finished the race and I got off the bike like victorious, and then I look back and it says second place. I'm
Proud
like,
of
you
you,
gotta be
Richie.
kidding me. I got beat by the unicorn?
I chose the unicorn instead of my motorcycle. I got on the pink cycle and I chose the unicorn. And I think I even paid for more nitro boost. And I won by a horn. Anyways, it was a fun time at David Buster's.
It was a fun time. We had a blast. And man, oh man, if you're looking to watch some of the college basketball tournament action, look no further than Dave and Buster's, because you can catch all the college basketball tournament games there in March. New and improved, outrageously delicious menu. In fact, man, we just kept ordering off of the menu there. The $5 apps just kept coming and coming and coming, and they were absolutely delicious. And then, of course, we were there playing Papa Shot. We were playing those racing games you never seen before. Brand new games that keep rolling into Dave and Buster's, but they got TVs all over the place. You can see the UFC fights there, watch baseball, basketball. They got happy hour Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Half-price cocktails, $1 off drafts, $1 off wine glasses, and every single day, all day, every day, 10% off for military and first responders. Schedule your next event by calling them directly or visit daveandbusters.com. We were out at the Mission Valley location. Gonna head there again, man. Had a good time. I'm trying to catch my breath still. Yeah. Listen, laps before reads are not great. Also, out in Carlsbad. So Mission Valley, Carlsbad, Dave and Buster's, both Both places absolutely phenomenal. I'm probably going to be out at the Carlsbad location this Friday, maybe Thursday, watching the game. We'll see. Dave & Buster's, we'll see you there. Coming up, we got to break down the results from the best bracket ever. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
This update is presented by Audible, starting off with the NCAA tournament. Aztecs heading back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year on Friday. San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Then yesterday, Aztecs dominating Yale 85-57. On Thursday, we're going to get a rematch of last year's national championship game. San Diego State taking on UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39 on Thursday. Padres home opener also coming up on Thursday at Petco Park. San Francisco Giants heading to town, and the entire Padres team was in attendance for the celebration of life for Peter Seidler at Petco Park on Saturday. Come to Audible and discover the best selection of audiobooks without exception, bestsellers, new releases, plus podcasts and exclusive Audible originals. You'll find everything you love all in one place. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Big Rich and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. In the break, I said, hey, we need to get Fletch's brother, Alex. We need his new date's phone number. And Fletch said no.
Damn it. Fletch.
Dude, I set this thing up.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going well. Why would we ruin it?
Why? How are we
hang on.
ruining it?
So TD, if there's one thing everybody needs to know about TD, he is undaunted by the parameters that are in place for any sort of relationship. His first instinct is, we should call them. We should call them immediately.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
we got into a big argument over what side is the extra paper on the toilet paper roll. Is it supposed to come over like a waterfall, or is it supposed to go behind like a mullet? And so we're having this debate on air. He's like, we should get someone on from Charmin. And the next day we had someone on, a toilet paper expert from Charmin.
You're welcome.
I mean, we were talking about Thanksgiving, like, how can we celebrate our Thanksgiving show? He's like, we'll get a pilgrim on. I kid you not. A gentleman named John, who is like an 11th generation ancestor of somebody who was on the Mayflower, was on our show on Thanksgiving Day. So needless to say, this fits the character profile.
Yeah.
Like, this is what TD does. My question to you, Fletch, is why are you standing in the way of a great conversation? We could get to know M, our mystery person, a little bit more. Alex Fletcher's future wife. There, I said it.
Right.
There, I said it.
Right. We will be we'll be creating a dance circle at their wedding,
100%. I've actually,
which I think is Wednesday.
I think, yeah, he's going to get married on Fletch's birthday, March 27th. Yeah. There you have it.
Did you think we forgot about your birthday? Okay.
No, we definitely
I might
did.
not even be here for my birthday.
By the way,
you could be in surgery.
Your parents, we've covered this before. They conceived you in June, I think, or the end of May, Mother's Day. Was that what we decided?
I think so.
Yeah.
Every Mother's Day needs a mother tonight.
That's it. You're damn right. And I'll tell you right now,
Please don't.
Keither gave Angie that Mother's
don't.
Day. I'm just saying. And then, like 10 months of gestation later, here comes Fletch.
It's 9 months.
Well, 9 full months. 9 full months.
It's 40 weeks. It's 40 weeks, which, I mean, if you break it down 10 times 4, look, the point is, it's beautiful that your parents came together. How many years ago now will it be?
My parents?
No. Yeah. I mean, how old are you? How old are you?
Oh, I'm going to be 28, which feels old.
Yeah.
Gonna be 28.
So that means 29 years ago, they knocked boots on that fateful evening, Mother's Night.
Not.
Well, I'm just saying, it's beautiful. Coitus?
Mom, I'm sorry.
The horizontal mambo? The naked electric slide? Gorgeous.
I had said that we're going to give an update on the best bracket ever, but I didn't realize that polling is still open, and we got a couple tight races here.
Okay, listen, we're gonna have to delay it an extra day because we're gonna allow polling to lapse to the end of the show at least.
Right.
I mean, we do have some tight races. Give us because one of them's shocking, but give us like the polling as it stands.
Okay, right now, Perfect Steak versus Yoga Pants. Perfect Steak has a narrow lead.
What
with
a
just over
brutal
50 points.
first round matchup.
No,
Right,
I
yeah.
hate that they're against each other.
This one we could probably call unless in the next 2 hours there's just some major votes that come in. A road trip snacks versus a 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend trouncing road trip snacks.
Road trip snacks, so good, right? Beef jerky, trail mix. I mean, every once in a while, a protein bar just hits right. But Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Well, 84% of the vote on a 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend coming in as a 6 seed. I mean, 3-day weekend fans upset at that seeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll tell you what, would they rather go up against a Perfect Steak
Yeah.
Would they rather go up against unexpected nudity?
Got a 3-day weekend with a perfect steak.
And some unexpected nudity?
Come on.
Freebies, perfect high five. Looks like Freebies will win this one. 63% of the vote there. Unexpected nudity versus alone in the car fart. I'm actually shocked at the amount of votes that came in for alone in the car fart. However, they're losing 86% to 14%.
I will tell you right now, boy, when you have that moment to yourself and you've been saving it up, I mean, there is something special and wondrous about that.
Right.
How about a twist to it?
Yeah.
Because I had this on Friday night because Noreen and Mike gave me a ride home after the comedy show, which was great.
You're just stewing back there.
Getting out of the car right after you're in someone else's car, walking to your front door fart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is electric.
Okay. You didn't want to leave one behind for Big Boss Noreen?
Okay, I'm gonna give you one of the funniest happenstances that occurred. So I'm leaving the house with Sebastian. We're gonna go meet up with Annie and Ty. They were at one of Ty's buddies' house. We're friendly with the mom, so we're all gonna go as a family over there, have dinner together. As we're getting our stuff out the door and ready to leave, all of a sudden I feel one, all cooked up, chambered, ready to blast off. And dude, on my front porch, it was one of those like kind of quarter knee, like leg twisters where I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, somebody next to us might think there's a tornado making landfall somewhere nearby. Anyways, I throw Bash in the back of the car. I drive to our friend's house. And so Anne, as we're walking through the apartment front door, she goes, oh my gosh, she was like, I didn't even get the Nest notification that you guys had left. And then all of a sudden, as she's saying that out loud, the little banner drops down on her phone. She goes, oh, actually, here it is now. So she clicks on it, accidentally trying to like swipe up on it.
Oh, wow.
And it's me going,
can we get that video?
Right into the Nest. Yeah. I don't know if she saved it.
No, you got to send it.
I will check. I promise I'll try to find it.
Also, in a mission from the best bracket ever, both years in a row now, this will have to be on next year, is like the outdoor pee.
Outdoor pee.
Yeah, outdoor pee is good.
My nephew Dan, who I believe is 4.
Okay. Outdoor pee.
Is that not legend?
Yeah.
That's a great pee.
Right out in the snow.
What we're staring at is a 4-year-old pair of butt cheeks. He has completely dropped his pants and he is firing off into a beautiful snow-capped scene.
And lifting his shirt up a little bit too.
He's doing the whole thing.
Oh, legend.
An outdoor pee, it is one of those things that only half of the population will get to enjoy like to its fullest because you kind of need to have, the bait and tackle in order.
I mean, it would seem like an outdoor pee for a woman is much less pleasurable.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a lot more work involved.
It just seems like you're just gonna,
it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah. It's a Jackson Pollock painting by the time you're done with it. Meanwhile, we could write cursive.
Yeah, right. Because I was gonna say, by the way, the outdoor pee in the snow is probably the top of the outdoor pee. Yeah, the steam, and the snow makes everything real quiet.
Oh yeah, it muffles all the sound, so all you hear is just the burbling stream.
Well, and the crackling of the snow that's melting. It is pretty epic. It's legend status.
Pretty good. Wings over home run bat crack at the moment. That one could see a bit of a swing there, but 57% of the votes to Wings right now. Photo finish P losing to Sundresses, 83 to 17%.
Oh yeah.
Barbecue smell completely dominating Slurpee. Just about 88% of the votes going to barbecue smell. And House to Yourself currently beating Ice Chest Beer, 60% of the votes to House to Yourself.
That's
a holdover from last year.
Kind of shocks me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not mad that House to Yourself is in the lead. I have no problem with House to Yourself being in the lead, but it is shocking that Ice Cold Beer didn't have a better showing.
Ice Chest Beer?
I don't really.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Man.
Interesting.
Man, oh man. If there was a way that like in your fridge, like the bottom drawer that you just put vegetables there to obviously go bad. If you could turn that into always like a slushy ice chest that you could just keep beers in the bottom.
Bless you.
Oh gosh.
Bless you.
Yeah, sorry.
Rich, that sounded like a healthy sneeze. That sounded like a sneeze on a body where everything's working properly. And I would imagine 6 months ago, that sneeze would have sounded a lot fatter.
Yeah, I probably would have had some other bodily function happen at the same time because I was losing control of everything.
And that's happening with all three of us, and it has been happening now ever since we met Wayne and Chloe over at sdfatloss.com.
Yeah, that's right.
Our sneezes are so much healthier now
our sneezes led to pants changing events.
Not anymore.
What the hell is wrong
Reset.
with us? Yeah.
Timeout. Pause.
Hold on.
Usually I say the
because
things.
we were so fat. When we sneezed, we crapped our pants.
Every time. And thank God for Wayne and Chloe, our weight loss team over at sdfatloss.com.
I'm gonna do this.
They were like the smell of that studio is absolutely insane.
If you're ready to avoid that,
Please go to sdfatloss.com and schedule a free consultation.
No more yo-yo dieting. No more losing all the weight and then getting it all back and having more instances of pants crapping farts.
You know what the worst part is? This is my week.
Happened.
So I'm gonna be the one that gets in trouble for this.
No, dude, I don't know if there's a more strong endorsement of signing up to lose weight than avoiding pooping yourself while sneezing.
All right.
Okay, you start from the start.
You guys want to lose weight here in 2024? You need to get over to sdfatloss.com. Talk to Wayne and Chloe. They've been our weight loss team here over the last 6 months or so since we met them. And it really has made huge changes in our lives. We joke around a lot, but like, just think about the fact that our wives like looking at us now. And if you want that to be a part of your life, get on over to sdfatloss.com today. You can lose 30, 40 pounds within just a couple of months. It's wild how fast the weight comes off. Get on over to sdfatloss.com today. Free consultation. Chat with Wayne and Chloe. They will build you a roadmap here for the next couple months of your life that will lead you to lose a tremendous amount of weight, and your sneezes will be healthier. That's that. sdfatloss.com.
You did
It
it.
was a long way to get there, but we did it.
Yeah, sdfatloss.com indeed. Okay, let's recap the full slate of college basketball action on the other side. I promise we'll get through this maturely. That's next on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
A further breakdown of the NCAA tournament. And how about the Aztecs coming up next?
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Monday, San Diego Sports 760. If you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, we sure do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, review, give us 5 stars, and just review us like we're a restaurant. Give us 5 stars and confuse the hell out of anybody else who's trying to ascertain what our show is about by just saying something like the orange chicken left something to be desired. 5 stars.
It doesn't even have to be a restaurant. It could be my teeth are so much whiter now.
The best dog groomers in San Diego, hands down. Attention to detail.
And we got some time in the 8 o'clock hour, so hit us on the talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. It's a little microphone icon right next to the play button if you're listening to the show. And we'll play it coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Give us your Aztec reaction from yesterday's dominant win and the fact that they're going up against number 1 in the country, UConn, coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, quick recap of the college basketball slate of games from yesterday. So Purdue takes down Utah State. So a Mountain West team losing in the round of 32. Utah State.
39 points.
Buddy, they got smoked.
So I was watching that game, and Great Osibor, who was the Mountain West Coaches Player of the Year, not Jaden Ledee, was doing way too much. You could tell he was like, oh, I'm going up against Zach Edey. I got to make a name for myself. He was turning the ball over like crazy. Utah State, honestly, in the second half, did not belong on the same court as Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue's got the 2-time, well, he hasn't been announced yet, but he will be 2-time Wooden Award winner in Edey. Another 1 seed took down a 9 seed. This time it was UConn Northwestern. It was a blowout, 75-58. Felt very similar to how the Aztecs handled business against Yale. Just controlled the game from the start, played great defense. UConn is a very complete team.
Buzzsaw.
All right, and then you look at another 1 seed that survived. We were talking about this game earlier as Houston took down Texas A&M, but that series of calamitous events for Houston down the stretch of that game where Texas A&M was able to tie on literally a last-second shot was incredible.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was a bummer, though, that the overtime was not quite as exciting as the final few minutes of that game.
Texas A&M did everything that they possibly had in the gas tank to come back in that game. They were down 9 within like 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
They came back to tie it at the buzzer with a wild 3-pointer from a guy who like doesn't shoot 3-pointers that often. It was just a wild finish. It was very March.
A fadeaway 3-pointer that as it was going in, he was sliding on his back.
Which, by the way, like from somebody inbounding damn near underneath the basket, getting a pass to the top of the key should be impossible. But somehow that pass made it to the top of the key through a bunch of defenders, and he just kind of hucked it up and it went in.
Yeah, there's so many hands that are typically in the lane and just, found Providence and sunk it. But they lose overtime 195 to Houston. Marquette took down Colorado 81-77. You had a 4-seed Duke just beat the living dog out of JMU. James Madison goes down by a score of 93-55 was the final. Goodness gracious.
Man, oh man.
That's a blue blood taking care of business. Alabama.
James Madison, though. Football team is all of a sudden really good. Basketball team's all of a sudden really... Where'd they come from?
JMU, they have a huge alumni base.
But it was like I'd never even heard of them really, or at least like thought about them on the national scale until the last year. And their basketball team and football team all of a sudden are like making big waves.
You want to hear something crazy? A lot of football coaches come out of JMU. Lot. Like I'm talking about like in the NFL, college ranks, like big time programs, big time teams. Like it's there's a lot of alumni that, and a lot of them spin off and become very successful. So in the age of NIL, get ready for some of these schools like Grand Canyon University. You should see their endowments. Like they're going to have teams in the tournament every year. I can promise you. Alabama taking care of business against GCU. Speaking of which, 72-61 there.
GCU almost had it, man.
Yeah, they they couldn't shoot in the final minutes, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, they just
hard to win.
Cold streak. And then, of course, the Aztecs, they enter the Sweet 16 as a 5 seed. They knocked out 13 seed Yale by a score of 85-57. We'll get back to that game and all the excitement for the Aztecs and what's next for them as they take on UConn. But first, what's next for you, Fletch?
Well, I'm an idiot. That's what's next. Okay. Because on Prize Picks yesterday, I was giving way too much credit to Yale and not enough credit to San Diego State's defense. Like, I don't know what in the world I was thinking. Wow. But, it's my own fault, and I will not make the same mistake again. But you need to go download the Prize Picks app right now, and you need to use promo code Fletch so you get a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. It's the easiest, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike some of those other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. No sharks, no competitive leagues. All you're doing is picking more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. And right now with the little demons, you have little demons icons on the Prize Picks app. You can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with pro basketball, hockey, college basketball entries today. In fact, I just made my season-long baseball entry, which is all home run based. So you can go, Juan Soto is going to hit this many home runs, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this many, Fernando Tatis Jr. this many. I would take Fernando's more than, if you know what I'm saying. Prize Picks has something for every sports fan, from basketball and hockey to League of Legends and everything in between. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states across the country, including right here in California. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get a first deposit match up to $100 and get ready to watch the winnings roll in. If you got the skills, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. It's hour number 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Mozzie Heating and Air. Starting off this morning in the NCAA tournament, Aztecs heading back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year on Friday. San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Yesterday, Aztecs dominated Yale 85-57. On Thursday, we get a rematch of last year's national championship game. San Diego State taking on UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39 on Thursday. Padres home opener also coming up on Thursday at Petco Park. The San Francisco Giants heading to town, and the entire Padres team was in attendance on Saturday for the celebration of life for Peter Seidler. Odd sounds and stinky smells coming from your heating system. It's time for some Mozzie love. Annual heating maintenance checks from Mozzie Heating and Air can increase your comfort and provide a more cost-effective operation. Go to mozzie.com and schedule an appointment today.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Monday to those who celebrate. We certainly are. San Diego State is in the Sweet 16. Woo! Let's go! We've been doing the merengue all morning long. Yeah.
I love it.
Really emphasizing the meringue on that one.
It's Pie Day?
Well, no. The latter half of that could get really interesting.
Got it. Is brother Alex Fletcher listening?
Probably.
Alex, can you send us M's phone number?
Yeah, we need it.
How about this? Happy birthday, Alex. Love you, big bro.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, dude, happy birthday. Happy anniversary to Fletch and Kendall. We're celebrating 2 things today. Alex Fletcher, Fletch's older brother, turning 33.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Kendall and Fletch, you two are celebrating your 2nd anniversary.
Second wedding anniversary.
Okay.
And that poor girl has had a rough couple of weeks dealing with
your dilemma.
What am I?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, and that poor girl got suckered into one of the worst beds.
That too.
Ever. I mean, so she's stuck with me now.
Look at me.
No, I'll tell you what.
Look, you can't even walk.
I sat down with Fletch and Kendall, and then also Alex and M. This was Friday night before we all caught David Koechner over at American Comedy Co.
By the way, nobody gave me a heads up that you guys were heading down to Little Italy.
You were in the text.
Oh, you were in the group text.
Yeah, but it was like I got the group text of at 7:15. It takes me an hour.
We can go full clarity here. I was planning on you guys not being there because it was the first time Alex and M were going to be meeting.
I crashed.
Dude,
yes.
So when you guys were like, should we meet somewhere before dinner? I was just like, oh, well, we're at Barbusa right now because I went and said hi to our buddy Michael, and then we just sat down outside and had a couple espresso martinis.
I was super bummed. I wanted to crash.
Oh, I crashed hard. I dude, when I tell you I crashed, I walk up and Fletch and his brother were like, oh, he's here. And I was like, hey, what's up, gang? It's a table for 4. I'm like, no problem. I'll have to host. Scoot. Yeah. Scoot. Hey, Em, could we share a seat? I was like, no problem. I'll ask the host stand if I could grab a chair. And then Fletch is even like, yeah, maybe you should find Michael Busalaki. Maybe he would like to talk to you for a little bit.
At one point during the date while we were at the comedy club, Alex, your brother, got up to use the restroom, and so Rich and I leaned over and asked him, scale of 1 to 10, how is this going? She said, solid 8. 8.5.
Solid 8.5. And then we were like, so because one of the comedians was talking about, the size of a certain part of the male man.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So our natural segue for us is like, so what are we talking about here? Stop our hands, as we're widening them apart, what you're looking for in Alex. And then she said, stop. We're like, ooh, gosh, I don't know. That's a tall order.
She also said something to the effect of well, we're going to find out later. Wow.
I'll tell you right now. It's wifey material.
Yeah.
And we just want to congratulate Alex Fletcher on his future engagement.
Congratulations.
So a funny part about David Koechner's stand-up bit is he will walk around the room at one point looking for all the bald guys in the crowd. And he came over to our table and I took off my hat and he immediately put me in a headlock and was rubbing my head. It's like, we got a bald guy.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of the show. I filmed the whole thing. We'll be putting that up on social media little bit later on, along with part of the interview he had in studio. Also, just I mean, what a guy! Yeah, actually, TD and Sarah, TD's wife, they went and saw him in the green room, just slapped a high five before they left. Like, cannot wait for him to come back to San Diego.
I mean,
it was a phenomenal show.
Super nice dude. Very much thanking us for letting him on the show here and then coming to the show. And I'm like, man, we're just happy to be along here. So, but what a nice guy and what a great place to go see a show, American Comedy Company.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so listen.
How about what we got? Travis Dale's group, your table's ready.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
I know.
God, why did they have to say that?
He was shining.
His head all of a sudden just
yeah.
Did it though?
Well,
Is that
as you were, we couldn't fit you down the damn. It's a snug stairwell. All of a sudden, we're
I
just
got
like,
the elevator.
I don't really remember it other than the red carpet and just walking in front of everyone, leading you guys to.
And
the
of
seat.
course, like as soon as they said Travis Dale's group, Travis looked over at Noreen, our boss, and was like, "Yeah, that's us."
yeah, Mike, Noreen, follow me. I was just like, what about me? What do I follow?
Noreen said, "Hey, do we have to wait in line?" And I just went, "Oh, follow me."
Oh, Noreen, silly girl.
Yeah, that's right.
No, just follow me. Yeah, Mario, our security guard at American Comedy Co, who had a handlebar mustache, which I appreciated also.
Yeah. Handlebar and twisted up, little curly Q.
Really awesome. He was like, yeah, they're just about drunk enough to cause problems. So he stood near our table the entire night.
He did.
So it was a fun time. It was a really fun time last night watching the Aztecs prevail over Yale. You had these Ivy Leaguers out there. I mean, many of them have their butlers on the sideline, which I think is weird. Like when, all of a sudden they come off the court and they're like, moist towelette. And then they're, they get like a little squeeze of lemon and they're wiping their hands off with a hot towel. I was like, why do they do that? Well, because my dear man, they're touching that disgusting basketball.
Every time they walk up the court, they put on a fresh jersey.
And who are these vagrants from Southern California wearing the black and red? This is just deceitful in appearance, frankly. And then all of a sudden, San Diego State just goes and they stand on business.
That's right.
You could argue they're up on game.
They let all the naysayers know.
Yeah. They just crushed Yale.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they did what they should have done against Yale, against an Ivy League nerdy school. Like, that's what San Diego State, a basketball powerhouse on the West Coast, should do against some East Coast nerds.
I hope someone from Yale is tuning in today. As we're like, these nerds.
What, you think you're better than me?
Yeah, what? Because you're going to have, like, a job as a high-powered lawyer at a top 100 firm.
All right, well, you say
hard to judge the basket distance in a monocle.
Yeah, dummies.
You say they're going to have a good job. I say they're going to have years of student loan debt.
Yeah. Take that.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure your parents can afford it, can't they? It sounded pretty good for them. Yeah, we took you down.
Yeah,
like the Titanic.
That's
even
right.
though soon you'll be titans of industry, hiring many of the players on the Aztecs basketball team. Damn it. Well, listen,
there probably is no student loan debt because their parents can afford their tuition.
Yeah.
Their parents just write a check, so no one has any debt there.
Yeah, sure. Your dad's last name is on the building that you study philosophy in, but you lost, you idiot.
Yeah.
Now, that is the fate of a lot of 13 seeds when they get to the second round. It's like the 13 seed upset. There's magic that just gets sprinkled in the round of 64 every year.
Just lambs to slaughter.
Right. But then they get to the second round and it's like, oh, well, now we're playing the team who belongs there. And San Diego State did exactly what they should have done, which is beat the brakes off of Yale. So now the big problem is they play UConn next.
Which, by the way, can we talk about, look, I think mostly in the NCAA tournament, when you slate these games in terms of regions they're played and obviously the arenas that these games are played at, it works. They're neutral sites for the most part, but UConn getting to play their Sweet 16 in Boston.
It's an hour and 41-minute drive to the
on.
TD Garden from UConn's campus.
Are we like, so by the way, I mean, when I played for the Patriots, I lived walking distance from the Garden. I would go to games all the time for the Bruins and Celtics. That place gets loud. That is a raucous environment during a basketball game. Huskies fans are going to fill that place to the rafters
So
because remember, a lot of Huskies fans live in Boston
for sure, and that is gonna it's gonna be an overwhelmingly bigger amount of UConn fans than San Diego State fans. However, I will say last year, if you look back at the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight and the Final Four in the national championship game, San Diego State had some part of 15,000 fans at most of those. More so in the Final Four in the national championship game, but in the Sweet 16, they had a good contingent. It's not going to be close to what UConn draws, but I'm hoping San Diego State fans, and I've seen a lot of them on Twitter. John and I got some DMs last night as well of people who already purchased their tickets to go to Boston on Thursday. I hope that there's enough of a contingent to make it to where it's not just overpowering, deafening loud for UConn, and there's some fight out of the Aztec fans.
It's not going to be. I
mean, it's not going to be close, but it's going to be something.
Right. Well, yeah. And yes, it will be something. And there will just be some basketball fans in general, not necessarily just UConn or San Diego State fans. So you're going to have that are going to cheer for both sides because they want everyone to have fun. But it's going to be overwhelmingly UConn.
Right. The way these work, though, TD, the fans of the neutral fan at these games always pull for the underdog.
Let me give you the comparison. Because it's almost the same amount of distance driven. In fact, it's a little bit closer for UConn fans. But imagine the San Diego State Aztecs drew a game at Crypto.com Arena.
Yep.
In the Sweet 16. And all of these San Diego State fans who don't have, the cash ka-ching to fly out to Houston for a Final Four and to pay for a room and all the stuff that comes with it. All they really have money for are the tickets, maybe a pair to take their son, waiting forever for this opportunity. You'll make the drive. You'll just do a day trip. You might do an overnighter. Maybe you know someone in LA. Maybe you have family who lives up there. You'll buy the tickets. You'll drive up the freeway. You'll go to the game. You'll come back home that day. Or like I said, take a quick overnight. And then you get to do something. It's like a bucket list item. Check it off the list. I saw a Sweet 16 game with the Aztecs in it. Well, for Huskies fans, they are going to fill up TD Garden. There is no question. And also, this is the national champion from a year ago.
That is a good name.
What's that?
Such a good name.
TD Garden.
It's not named after you.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's named after a bank.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we can't confirm that.
I don't think they were like, you know what? We should name this building Travis Dale Garden.
But thanks to Rich McGuire on YouTube, it's an 80-mile drive for UConn.
It's an 80-mile drive?
And that's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
That's an hour in the car.
It's nothing.
80-mile drive. I mean, how many miles is it to LA?
Like 103.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just, I'm telling you.
It's like driving to Orange County from San Diego.
These UConn fans, they're going to buy a tremendous number of these tickets, and they're going to be loud. And again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, the worst part about this is officials, referees, they can be swayed by crowds. And so we may have a situation where UConn's getting favorable calls all game long. They're getting into the line more than the Aztecs.
Why did you know it was exactly 108 miles to Los Angeles?
I said 103. I might have been off because there was all this. Remember the propaganda that hit San Diego in like 2016? It's only 100 and whatever miles up the road. Yeah, that's why that's in my head.
Got it. Yeah, listen, come see the Chargers. It's only 4 hours of traffic.
Yeah, I seem to remember like an exact, like a LaDainian Tomlinson stand up in front of a camera saying those exact words.
Oh, yeah.
100 miles and 4 hours later.
I think LaDainian Tomlinson actually said at one point, and don't quote me, I may have the numbers off, but
you'll be close though.
He was like, I took the ride yesterday, or like whatever he was saying. He was like, it was only 55 minutes. And then the Twitter, the replies to that commentary, like the video that went viral, was like, confirmed LaDainian Tomlinson owns time machine. Like, confirmed LaDainian Tomlinson flies helicopter instead of uses car. Like, it was hysterical. Like, but yeah, I digress on that point to just say, like, man, it's just the neutral floors work in college basketball until they don't.
Yeah, this sucks, but you know what? UConn also earned it. Like, they are the number one seed in this tournament. Period. End of discussion. They're the number one of the number one, so they're going to get the most favorable landing spots of anybody, and that's exactly what they got here.
Yep. A lot of colleges on spring break right now.
Yeah.
And out in Miami, things are popping off.
Literally?
Apparently, apparently
like tops?
Well, no, not top. Well, maybe. I don't know. There's a bar where the bartenders, female bartenders, will, when you buy the drink, they'll spit it into your mouth. Then they pour or splash a pitcher full of water in your face.
A hurricane shot.
And then they slap you That's a hurricane shot?
You never done one of these before?
No. Do you know how much that this woman is making per night?
How much?
$6,000 in tips.
Yeah, they just line people up. And a lot of time it's like a bachelor party will buy the
I've
groom.
never even heard of a hurricane shot.
I don't think she's getting compensated enough after hearing all that and then seeing the picture trail. I would like to write a strongly written letter to the mayor of Miami.
I tell you what worries me is now that I've mentioned it, Tony Kanja may bring in someone to give us hurricane shots.
I'll tell you right now, if somebody is willing to give us a hurricane shot in a bikini, and it's not Jay Kennedy
or Jay Riff
for that matter, who, by the way, when you first broke your ankle, Fletch, and Jay Riff spent the first couple of days with us last week, I mean, he was this close to taking his shirt off during the broadcast, and he was loving the attention.
Oh, yeah. What was crazy, though, is he said, well, when Fletch takes his shirt off, it's funny, it's comical. When I take my shirt off, it could be a sexual harassment claim.
Dude, he was probably dead serious.
He was 100% serious.
He like looked at us dead in the eye with concern. Like, I don't want to get fired, guys. Like, if I take my shirt off, I mean, this could set off alarms.
Have you ever met somebody who takes themselves more seriously than Jonathan Rifkin?
He has easily become one of my favorite people because he has like this incredible opinion of himself. And when he shares his opinions about things that are happening in his life, you're like, oh, you truly are the protagonist of your story. Like, there's no question.
I heard you guys talking the first day, and he was asking, like, I think he asked you guys, am I a douchebag? And Rich, you nailed it on that. He was like, sometimes when you talk, you're talking at us, not to us.
He rolls in at 5:10 in the morning
with
aviator sunglasses on.
The sun is an hour.
Right.
I mean, the sun is still in bed.
He's indoors.
It is an hour from cresting the horizon. There is not a stitch of sunlight in the sky, and this guy literally, and he wore them for a while in here.
He comes in because he wanted to make sure we were both looking at him before he slowly took them off.
Like, I was like, J-Riff, do you always take your sunglasses off so slow? And he's like, well, it's so early in the morning.
God, J-Riff gives off Yale vibes, doesn't he?
Oh, yes. Albert dropped me off this morning. He was not ecstatic that he had to wake up as early as I did.
You better be careful. He may have to fill in again after you have to have surgery on your insurance fraud claim.
Let's start halftime there. So if we're going to be open and honest here,
with surgery.
Today at 2:45, I believe, I have an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon who is like, they told me he's going to like have to move my ankle around.
Wait a minute. Can we broadcast live from your orthopedic surgeon's office?
Probably not because of HIPAA, but you know, I would allow it. I'd sign off.
Okay, good.
We'll see. I might have some really bad news coming up tomorrow, and I am genuinely like, I have the butterflies about this. We'll see.
It'll be fine.
NCAA tournament. Aztecs heading back to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year. That's cause to celebrate. On Friday, San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Nice. Then yesterday, Aztecs dominated Yale 85-57. Thursday, we get a rematch of last year's national championship game. San Diego State gets UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39, and Padres home opener is coming up on Thursday.
How many hurricane shots have you had?
I've never done one personally, but I've been present for plenty.
That's so crazy because I've never heard of it. And then after watching it, like, I think there's enough distance from the mouth of the hurricane shot provider that you're not cheating in any way.
Oh, no.
You are accepting the chance of, I guess, contracting herpes or maybe influence.
But it's alcohol, isn't all of it?
No,
that's a good point.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have to spit the drink?
No, so actually, I've never seen the spit into the mouth part of it.
Right.
I've only
Kinda
seen
gross.
like the bartender.
It's a little raunchy.
So you sit in what I would equate to like a barber chair,
Oh, yeah,
where they
okay.
can lean you back,
Yeah,
and the server or the bartender will pour the shot into your mouth,
right.
and then is it splash water then slap, or
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
slap
yeah,
then
yeah.
splash water?
That seems
Yeah.
to be the deal. Wow.
But dude,
Jesus.
when you're like in a bar that's full of people and this is happening, it's electric. Like everyone's cheering, everyone's going crazy. Like you just want to see the bartender slap the dude as hard as possible.
Dude,
It's so funny.
I will shave my face down to the slab this way. Like it is like, I mean, we get a crisp, like,
Man.
like, you know, it's just going to be like one of those, because you know what? I miss head trauma a little bit. I really do. This sounds like an odd thing, but from playing football my entire life, there are still times where it feels like my brain's itchy, where I kind of need to slam it into something. And I don't get to do that anymore.
You're like a longhorn buck, like needing to hit something.
It's like weird. All of a sudden, August and September comes around, and I just want to ram stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Or maybe what's right with me.
Yeah.
It's
not a whole lot of either, for being honest.
Thank you. All right. The biggest story to hit baseball since the steroid era, potentially. We'll get to that on the other side. Speaking about what's right with me, it's my feet. I finally got my feet right with the Good Feet store. You can too. Check this out. So I had back pain. I would not have thought a good idea would be to, you know, check in with people who are going to slide arch supports in my shoes to cure the back pain, but that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly how it went. It was very strange. So I had back pain left over from my playing career in the NFL, and I woke up most days feeling, you know, I don't know, some level of pain, right? Some good days, some bad days, but you know, it affects you. It affects how much you want to work out, your motivation to like get on the ground and play with the kids. It's tough, right? But when I started wearing these arch supports from the Good Feet store, I started having more good days. And then all of a sudden I realized, like, wait a second, all of these are now good days. It is very rarely that I have a bad day. And that's what this has meant for my life, for many other people. The testimonials are miles long. People rave about the Good Feet store because it's not just your back. If you have any lower body joint pain, your hips, your knees, maybe in your ankles or your feet, the Good Feet store can help you too, because your feet are the foundation of the rest of your body. You spend a lot of time on your feet during the day. If you change the way your foot is supported, you could change your life. So go to the Good Feet store, get tested, or I should say fitted for these arch supports. You can do a free test walk around the store, see if they're right for you. It's a try before you buy experience, completely free up until you purchase the arch supports. And when you walk out of there, if you're anything like me, you're going to stick with them for the rest of your life. The Good Feet store, they have 200 plus locations around the U.S. and overseas. Check them out at goodfeet.com.
You know what? We were out at the watch party over at Dave & Buster's last Friday, watching the Aztecs win. It was absolutely incredible. Not only because the Aztecs were playing so well, but because Dave & Buster's is absolutely fantastic. We were at Dave & Buster's, the Mission Valley location. They literally had these 3 gigantic screens that we were watching the games on, 125-foot screens. Unbelievable. And you can catch all the college basketball tournament games in March at Dave & Buster's. They've got a new, improved, outrageously delicious menu. And man, we were ordering all of it, man. Pretzel sticks, absolutely delicious. Fried pickles. Rich ordered pretzel dogs. We had the garlic Parmesan truffle fries, pot stickers. There was queso everywhere. Bacon cheeseburgers. Absolutely delicious. And look, they got games as well, right? Dave & Buster's, all the new games, the games you've never seen before. They keep getting new ones in. Go there. Check it out. Lots of TVs all over the place. You can watch UFC fights, baseball, basketball, anything you're looking for. And they got an outrageous happy hour. Happens Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're talking half-price cocktails, $1 off drafts, $1 off wine glasses, and every single day, 10% off military and first responders. They get a discount. Schedule your next event by calling them directly or visit daveandbusters.com. Like I said, we're out at the Mission Valley location. They also have a location up in Carlsbad. I think I may be there this Thursday watching the Aztecs play. Meet me there, Dave & Buster's. See you there.
This update is presented by Summit Racing Equipment. We will start off here in the NCAA tournament. Aztecs heading back to the Sweet 16 for a second consecutive year on Friday. San Diego State won 69-65 over UAB. Yesterday, Aztecs dominating Yale 85-57. On Thursday, we get a rematch of last year's national championship game. San Diego State gets UConn in Boston. Tip time set for 4:39 on Thursday. Padres home opener coming up Thursday at Petco Park as San Francisco Giants are heading to town. Summit Racing has the parts you need to keep your truck rolling right, from custom grills to new covers and everything in between. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code radio for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions do apply. Offer ends 4/14/24.
Is our voiceover guy the same guy that voices Optimus Prime?
Sam Witwicky, I need you to come with me now.
The madness.
The G43.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. San Diego Sports 760. Guys, we still have a pair of tickets to go see Social Distortion at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater April 12th with special guest Bad Religion. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We will be giving those away in the next 29 minutes. I promise you that.
I got the code word for it because I just butchered it in the update and I still have no idea how
Wait,
to
there's
say
a code word?
Yeah, I'm giving it to you right now.
Okay, what is it?
It's spelled, it's about, so Summit Racing has the parts you need to keep your truck rolling right, from custom grills to TONNEAU covers.
Tana.
What's that?
A Tana cover?
What is that?
The Tana covers the like when you see a truck bed and it has like a trunk on it, like a lid.
Yeah.
That's a tonneau cover.
You mean the truck bed lid?
It's a tonneau cover.
They shorten it to one word.
So you want the keyword to win social D tickets? Tonneau.
Tonneau. Hey, just call him with Tonneau. Actually, tell you what, don't call him right now.
No.
Wait about 5 minutes, and we're going to tell you what time to call him. See, if you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, we're aware of like a minute to 2 minute lag, I guess we'll call it, like between the live broadcast and when you hear it on the app.
I like to call it a tonneau.
I like to call me too. Truck bed lid. Tonneau.
Well, it's not a ton of minutes. It's only like
lap.
I mean, you just
why?
It's like
that was the perfect setup.
It's like somebody says, "Hey, don't walk on the front lawn. There's a rake laying right there," and you're like, "No, I've done this 1,000 times." You're walking right toward the rake, and you're like, "It's fine. I gotta go get something from it's just right there. You're walking right for the rake, and like just right to the face."
That was perfect setup.
So what's the time to call?
Oh, we don't know yet.
We're going to tell you
it's a secret
in like 3 minutes.
Right.
3 minutes. In the meantime, we're waiting with bated breath for another thing. It's Shohei Ohtani to address the media today, which apparently the superstar who signed a part of $1 billion contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers is involved in this bizarre story where his interpreter and long-term friend Ippe Mitsuharu apparently racked up a $4.5 million debt with a sports book that's under federal investigation, and Shohei Ohtani's bank accounts were wiring money to this sports book, and Shohei apparently had nothing to do with it. This is just theft as it's being discussed.
Right.
And Mitsuharu is very sorry so far. And also, we're seeing him get dragged through the mud because he lied on his resume about going to UC Riverside, Boston, working for the Boston Red Sox and working for the New York Yankees, which doesn't bode well. So anyways, that's where we're at with the story. And Shohei's going to talk about it today.
But hang on. This guy, if he hadn't have had $4.5 million in betting debt that he owed, would have completely faked it till he made it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like he just made it up on the resume and they're like, you know what? Sounds good. You're hired.
By the way, I'm just going to put this out there. In order to rack up $4.5 million worth of betting debts,
you got to be bad at betting.
Well, hang on.
Well, you can just bet once if you like,
It means that you're betting insane amounts of money. Like, because look, you're not going to lose every bet. So that means that he probably had a bankroll of, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars. I mean,
my understanding was he had a credit line through this bookie worth $4.5 million.
But okay,
and then he finally hit the credit line, the limit.
That's what Shohei was covering up the payment.
Second of the day.
Like I'm signaling 30 seconds to the scorers table. So if you're a sports book, for example, and somebody walks through your doors and goes, Hey, gambler, what's that? You want to take UConn covering the 3.5 they're favored by over the Aztecs in the tournament? Okay. Let me think about it. And I don't know what they're favored by the way. I'm not even sure if there's a line on the game yet. Okay, that's cool. What did you say? How much you want to wager? $500,000. Okay, hang on a second. Who are you? Did you say you're an interpreter for the Dodgers or the Angels, rather?
Yeah, but I'm Shohei Ohtani's interpreter.
Yeah. You're Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, but guess what, Chief? You're not Shohei Ohtani, so get your ass out of here.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you're good for it?
I'm so glad you brought up the line on San Diego State and UConn, because I just looked at it. And San Diego State has some bulletin board material, boys. 11.5 points. UConn is favored by.
Woo! Listen, I'm not a guy who I don't bet on San Diego State athletics, but if I were a betting man, I would take the points.
11.5.
That is a lot of points in a college basketball game. I'm sure that's going to be the biggest spread of the weekend. It for sure is on Saturday.
I wonder what Shohei's going to put on it.
So there was also a great moment. The Dodgers, like the Padres, are having these games now, these exhibitions to get ready for everything. Or this actually may have been a snapshot from Korea, but it was when Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts were on the on-deck area at the same time getting ready.
Yeah.
And it was just Ohtani, Betts, the last names right next to each other. Ohtani, Betts.
Coincidence?
Ohtani,
I think not. No, look, I mean, here's the crazy thing about my brain. When I think about like an interpreter betting millions upon millions upon millions of dollars so that he could rack up nearly $5 million in gambling debts, I think to myself, like, geez, like, how did he do that? Like, is there a way that he could have been so convincing that this sports book had no problem just fronting him the cash roll to do that? Or at any point did somebody he knew who was making, I don't know, like life-changing amounts of money,
like a 10-year, $700 million contract,
something like that, or even before that, just
I mean, yes, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, millions of dollars in endorsements prior to that. You know, maybe somebody who makes an enormous salary. What was it, arbitration or the international payroll? However it works with Shohei Ohtani before he became a free agent, like millions of dollars and tons of money in endorsements. Like, I mean, maybe there's a loose connection here. I don't know. It's just so weird.
So we got a quote from Dave Roberts, who was asked about this situation. And Dave Roberts, the head coach of the Dodgers, the manager, said, quote, "I'm happy he's going to speak to what he knows and gives his thoughts on the whole situation. I think it'll give us a little bit more clarity on what's going on." I don't know what time Shohei's going to speak, by the way. I don't know if it's been announced. I tried to find it. I don't know. And so we'll see what Shohei has to say. I'm curious if they open it up to questions at all, if the media is going to be able to ask him questions and it's not just a pre-made statement.
There's no way
that has been written for him, probably by the Dodgers.
By the way, Dave Roberts, though, his statement almost sounds like, I don't know nothing. I mean, I don't know anything. Like you haven't asked the question.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, well, if I were Dave Roberts, I would ask no questions to nobody.
Stay away from it as far as possible.
So I can consistently say, I don't really. I mean, me and Shohei, we were just talking about lunch the other day.
Because guess what?
He likes chicken sandwiches, and so do I.
If this goes really bad,
that's what his lying interpreter said.
If this goes really bad and Shohei actually gets in some trouble, I don't think the Dodgers would be that upset to tear up the contract. I know $700 million to the Dodgers doesn't feel like a lot because it's the Dodgers and they have these billions of dollars stored away. Still $700 million.
Yeah, but that contract is so sweetly made that it doesn't even hurt the Dodgers. I mean, they're tucking away tens of millions of dollars every single year.
It's true. They're going to be paying
just growing on an annuity. So in 10 years, I mean, it ends up costing them, I don't know. It was a very low number.
Yeah, we did the math.
Yeah,
right? They're going to be paying him the interest they earn on the money that they're saving now.
Yeah,
right. Because it's all deferred.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Look, this whole story is crazy. And, again, speculation is running more rampant in social media circles, but there hasn't been really a single media type who's willing to get out in front of this and say, hey, look, I mean, what this could honestly mean is that Shohei Ohtani is going to be implicated of something, because I think they're waiting for more details. And so who knows? Maybe Shohei will provide some details today. I doubt it.
Any chance he comes out and says, look, small me.
No.
That would be the biggest bombshell the world Major League Baseball has ever seen.
I mean, there's no chance. But I will say this. If you were listening earlier and you have that code word, you have a great chance of winning these Social D tickets. So if you want to call in and win those, you got to call it 843 on the nose. That is 2 minutes and 40 seconds away as I speak to you. 877-767-4760. That's 877-SORG-760. Be caller number 5 with the code word, and you are going to win Social D tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming up next, we got bottom of the barrel.
That's right.
Aztecs in the Sweet 16. We would love your thoughts.
Again.
Back-to-back years. No problem.
Big shirts.
We asked people to give us some messages on the TalkBack, the free iHeartRadio app, the little microphone button. If you're listening to the show, just click it. You can leave us a voicemail. We have one we need to play, and we will coming back on the other side. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Yeah, but before that, you guys know how much I love dieting. You know how many fad diets I tried in the past.
I know how fat you used to be.
Yeah, well, listen.
Thank you.
Fat diets. You know, I would lose some weight, and then as soon as I stopped whatever fad diet I was trying, I gained all that weight right back.
He did.
And then some. And then the people at ST Fat Loss, they went, hey, look, we're here to help. You need to stop that yo-yo dieting. And I was like, I'm sorry, the what? They're like, the yo-yo dieting.
You say the who?
And they're like, you lose that weight, you gain it right back. That's yo-yo dieting. We don't do that at stfatloss.com. We're going to show you how to do this correctly. You're going to lose weight quickly. In fact, we're going to say you're going to lose between 20 and 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time.
You're going to keep it
off. Keep it off. You're going to keep it off. And I was like, 20 and 30 pounds. Are you guys outside of your minds? And I did. I lost 31 pounds in 8 weeks' time. In fact, we all lost over 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time. And in fact, in the first 30 days was the majority of that 30 pounds, which was absolutely incredible because every time any of us were stepping on a scale, it was dropping. And it felt so good. It felt so good to get that weight off. And now it feels so good to keep that weight off because your life does change. You start to move around better. The aches and pains go away. Easier to tie your shoes. It's not like you're trying to fold a bowling ball in half anymore as you bend down to try to lace up those sneakers. Yeah.
What?
You know, like a bowling ball, you're just trying to fold that bowling. Like if you had a bowling ball with shoes, so you're trying to fold in half because you got to do the little loop-de-loop and the rabbit through the hole.
You know what I used to do? I used to lean around my belly. I used to keep my belly on one side of my lap, and I'd lean this way, and I'd almost swan dive at my sneaker. And there were many mornings where I got stuck for hours.
It was awful, awful. And that's what they promised at sdfatloss.com. No swan diving. No swan diving. Look, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose weight fast. You're going to keep that weight off. You're going to feel a million times better. And the consultation's free. They're going to set you up exactly the way you need to be to make sure it's healthy weight loss and lasting weight loss. sdfatloss.com.
This just in. We have another giveaway. We've got $50 in gift card form to where?
Islands!
You like fresh cut fries?
I do.
2 minutes.
And more importantly, the Aztecs have won themselves yet another ball game. And they have moved on to the Sweet 16 for the second consecutive year, for the fourth time of all time.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Monday. Happy Monday to all who celebrate. We're going to celebrate by giving you a $50 gift card to Islands. Not right this moment, but in a few minutes, we'll tell you exactly when to call. Again, we try to make this fair for our app listeners because they're on a little bit of a lag. So we will get that to you in just a moment. In the meantime, we have bottom of the barrel. But before we get to that, Fletch, Neil, congratulations to Neil. Just won the Social D tickets. Huge Aztecs fans in that household. The kids go to Lamont Butler's summer camp.
Yeah, their basketball camp, and he said he was talking to Lamont this summer and how stoked he is for him. And Neil, congrats. Enjoy the concert. Enjoy Thursday's game. Hope you and the kids had a blast last night watching.
Oh, it's so cool. That is so cool.
You guys want some Joe Moon in your life?
Yeah, in a big way.
You got
Joe Moon, protect that man at all costs. He's the best thing that's ever happened to this show. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know, I went to college. Okay. I never experienced like fraternity life because I was playing football, and football players while I was at Penn State weren't allowed to join a frat.
Yeah, but it's not like you didn't party.
Well, TD didn't go to college.
No,
You know, he went to school Hard Knocks.
He's in college right now.
Fletch, you went to college, but I don't think you maximized the value.
Hell yeah, I did.
I think we should start a frat, and we should Joe Moon should be like our first charter member.
Oh, I agree.
Could we
wait? Do we have to sign up for school to start a frat?
Absolutely
I
not.
was gonna say, if so, we could just like sign up for a class and
I think
JV
we
somewhere.
would be Beta Tau Theta.
Beta Tau
Wait.
Theta?
Wait.
Oh, you mean like based on our names?
Big Rich TV Fletch.
Oh, BTF. Beta Tau Theta? Wait a second.
I don't know about the
There's
F
no
one.
way the F is feta cheese.
I don't know about that one. I'm pretty sure it is.
Tau Feta?
I don't know what F is, but it's definitely Beta
Hold
Tau.
F in Greek.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. Phi.
Oh, Phi.
Oh.
Phi.
Beta Tau Phi?
I like it.
That actually sounds pretty legit.
Do we all have to get branded?
Wait,
by the way,
it's not P?
BTF sort of sounds like something you don't want to do to things or people or in general. So if our frat is BTF, look out. All right, well, check this out. Joe Moon, even though you didn't go to college, we are going to start throwing frat parties as we build Beta Tau Phi.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Are we sure that F is Phi?
I am not sure of anything. In fact,
I mean, E, F. Wait, hold on. Whoa.
I'm so unsure.
Now
of
I'm really
things.
confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is hieroglyphics.
Greek.
Yeah. I mean, this thing says Zeta.
Alphabet. Oh, here we go. I got a whole thingy here. This is going to help us out a lot. Okay, check this out. All right, I'm going to go through the Greek alphabet. It's in clip art.
This is good God.
Okay, alpha,
Okay.
beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta. Oh,
it's
beta. What is it?
Beta Tau Zeta.
Beta Tau
That's not as
Zeta.
cool.
I like
as
Phi better.
Yeah, I like Phi better.
Me too.
Wait, Phi is what?
Because we got them thick thighs.
I don't think pi. There's pi.
Well, it said PHI.
Oh,
Where's that?
There's
That's not
there
even
it is.
on
There it
there.
is. It's P. It's probably P.
It's P.
I guess it's P. Damn it.
Tell him. Wait, hold on. No, P is like rope.
Jesus.
All I learned in college
Sigma,
was you don't
tau,
trust.
epsilon,
Don't trust
phi.
gamma phi's.
No, you don't.
T-U-V. It's V.
It is V.
Wow.
Okay. All right. We're
We're really good at this.
The frat is going to be named at a later date and time.
Right.
Bottom of the barrel. Anything?
Do we have to do Greek?
I don't think so.
I don't
Or
know.
We could use
Anything?
like the Urdu alphabet.
Maybe. There's a UFC fighter that got bit during a fight, and then he went and got a tattoo of the bite.
I saw this.
That's cool.
It's actually
There's also a UFC fighter in one of the like less regulated leagues whose nose got moved to another part of his face.
Yeah, was
over
that?
the
Is
weekend.
it? What do you say? It Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Yeah, there was a Muay Thai fighter. Yeah, that was awful.
That was like one of the most nauseating images I've ever seen.
The Price is Right apparently has a contingency plan if people pee their pants on stage.
Right.
Right,
Perfect.
which is good. And there was a movie that was released. I didn't look at the name of it, of course, which, oh my God, I've never seen so many ads in my life. I don't know. It's a movie about Satan, and it's now grossed $666,666.
Okie dokie. It's the end of the world as we know it.
At
Call
the
right
start
now.
of this segment,
go
we had
ahead.
666 viewers on our stream.
My
right now we're up
God.
to 678, so we're going too fast.
Wow.
We're growing too fast. I hear that all the time.
877-767 SORG 760. That's 877-767-4760. If you want to call in at, let's call it 8:56, you'll win yourself that $50 gift card to Islands. We'll be back tomorrow. The Herd is next. Thanks for listening.